so excited, Renee. Yeah, look at all those people out there. We've got some talent. Year after year, we see more and more talented agents coming in, offering their gifts and sharing with others. It's just like nothing I've ever seen before. Elizabeth, do we have you? Susie?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Awesome.
I was actually feeling a little panicky out there. There's a lot of people here. There's almost 1,500 people in this room. Woo!
It's a lot.
This is exponential for sure.
That is right. So we're going to have a little conversation today while all of the attendees are submitting their Slido topics, slido.com, event code XCamp 2020. But I'm curious, would one of you like to share one of your favorite XCamp stories?
Oh gosh, Renee, XCamp stories. My first XCamp was shareholders, I believe, and XCamp is a foreign concept to a lot of us, right? But many of us have seen in the industry the RE bar camps. I'm wondering in the chat box, anybody attend an RE bar camp in the past? It would be helpful to know that. Yes, 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 yes.
Where's the Google Doc? Signing up for topics. I can't find it.
I just dropped it in the chat.
Thank you, Jen.
Hey, Renee, I'd love to talk about what I experienced at my first XCamp. I think it was maybe 2 years ago now, and to me, it was mind-blowing in that a lot of times when you take these trainings, it's a canned presentation and you can take notes. What I love about XCamp is it's happening in real time. We're deciding, as you guys look up on the Slido screen, we're deciding what's the most important topics, and it's very fast paced, and it's not somebody who's a national trainer who's getting compensated to teach you something. I took Brent Gove's Agent Attraction, and I believe that Michael Reese was also in there, and it was unbelievable. These guys who are tops in what they do, sharing everything that they do from for all of us to be better. I see lead generation is in there. That's another amazing. We need money in our pocket right now. So XCamp, I think, gives you actionable, practical stuff you can put into your business starting today. So this is the place to be, honestly, if you want to grow your lead gen, if you want to grow social media marketing for lead gen. So I think it's a really awesome format.
I'm a big fan of Slido right now. This is the first time we're utilizing Slido. For those of you who are suggesting topics that will be on the agenda at XCamp, you are literally watching it unfold. The agenda's unfolding right before you. Social media marketing, looks like we're getting a lot of votes. I see TikTok floating in and out of there. I'm really curious about TikTok. Free type of lead gen, video marketing, Instagram is filling in there, and of course, Agent Attraction.
Renee, I'll probably get my kids in here to teach TikTok.
I think they probably could. Follow the Riley family on the TikTok account. I would like to include the audience in, I have a couple questions for you, I think. Drop in comments in the comment box in 3 words or less, the takeaway that you had from day one and this morning at EXPCON in 3 words or less. Elizabeth, 3 words or less. What has been your takeaway the last 24 hours?
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Let me think of something impactful.
Opportunities.
You know me. I am not a put it in 3 words or less. So
okay,
well,
I'll give you more. You could have more. Go for it.
Everything.
Say friends, not referrals. I love it. I love it. Well-oiled machine. It's such good stuff.
There you go. Collaboration, innovation, and inspiration. I think our leaders did an incredible job from Glenn's presentation yesterday. Oh my gosh, how awesome was that? Duncan, I loved what he had to share, and even having Shark Tank. I think we've had some amazing entrepreneurs and thought leaders on stage in front of us yesterday.
Purpose over pain. Purpose over pain. Glenn's speech was amazing yesterday. All right, so remember, to all the attendees, make sure you're putting your topic suggestions in slido.com, event code XCamp 2020. And for those who would like to teach a session, we have our Google form. Jen, if you'd be so kind to drop that link into the public chat box. The Google form is for those of you who may want to include your name to teach a session at XCamp. You could submit your Google Forms as well.
On the Google form, it asked for one line with your name, the event, and if you're an EXP agent. Did I enter that correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Is there dead silence, or is it just be quiet?
Well, thinking.
Just picking a topic. Agent attraction, I hope.
Renee, are we doing the selfie challenge?
Renee was dropped from the group, and we'll be right back.
Oh, she did. Okay, great. So then let me help out a little bit, and I think Susie and a few others can help with this as well. My name is Keith Bliss. I'm one of the team that's building the agenda between matching our breakout leaders to topics to build out our 12 sessions. Just to let you know, Auditorium 1 is dedicated to 3 attraction conversations in a row. So agent attraction does not need to be entered in as a topic on Slido. You can keep the topics within Slido that are production related versus attraction related, because we have 3 amazing set pairs of speakers in the Auditorium 1 for agent attraction, just to let you know. Also, the other portion that we were going to be doing in here, and honestly, I miss the microphone voice of Renee or Jeff and everyone else involved when we're usually doing this and everybody's actually running around and moving around versus being sedentary.
Challenge, Keith, we've dropped the selfie challenge.
Okay, good, right. And so we were going to be doing something creative, but with a room this size, technology-wise, moving around gets a little bit even more challenging. So we really appreciate your feedback. To watch the Slido page change and evolve and grow with the topics. We are up to 279 topics put in so far. I could not imagine if we were doing this in person, sorting through 279 Post-it notes. So this is amazing that we can get up to 300 different topics being put into the Slido poll. So that's really awesome. And then on the other side, we have over 85 responses to the breakout leaders group. So 85 with 24 this is really let's see if
I am here. Sessions out.
Hey, will each section be taped or recorded today?
Luckily, I'm not on the technology side of this from that perspective. Not sure.
I can help out with that one. So, yep, we're live streaming this specific portion where we're just putting in the different topics, and then we're dividing and conquering, and then we're actually recording the XCamp sessions. So you'll be able to find those sessions on our YouTube channel, create an EXPCON list, and that will be ready later today.
Thank you so much. The hardest is trying to figure out which one to go to. Thank you.
All right, guys, think about what you came here to learn about. Is it about maybe learning about how to market your sphere of influence? Is it learning how to farm? Is it door knocking? Anything you can think of, put it in there in the Slido.
Agent attraction classes are going to be in the XCamp Auditorium 1, starting at 10:15, and there's 3 back-to-back.
Are there any lead gen already set up?
Hey, Renee, how long are these classes, each one? Or anyone?
They're 45 minutes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Each session's going to be 45 minutes. They'll probably finish around 40 minutes so you can transition, but 40 to 45 minutes.
And I'm sorry, could you repeat where we'll find them?
Keith is working on the scheduling right now, and then they'll announce which breakout rooms are which topic.
Thank you.
We have a lot of people wanting to know about lead generation, social media, agent attraction, all the big ones. So we'll definitely have plenty of those. Video, KB Core, farming, scripts. If you've put your topics in already, why don't you open in the chat box your 3 favorite things about EXP?
Where was the agent attraction class going to be again?
All right, all right, all right. We are agile. I made it. I know some of you have been asking about where each class is going to be. So each of the breakout sessions are going to be held in the XCamp breakout rooms, which is right here in World. As we speak, the actual agenda is being created and crafted. So as soon as the agenda is completed, it will be posted in this main auditorium as well as each of the breakout sessions. So you'll have those locations coming up here soon.
Hi, I'm wondering if this is going to be accessible through the mobile app.
I'm happy to chime in on that from the technology perspective. So it's not available in the EXP World mobile app because you don't have the capability to be able to watch the slides on the screen. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and live streamed it at expcon.exprealty.com, which should be the same exact website you went to register for the event.
Thank you, Jen.
Sorry, what was the website again?
expcon.exprealty.com. You can also click that icon in the top right corner that has a little calendar, and it should pop up with a live stream there too. So you've got two places that you can watch.
How are you going to stream XCamp?
So we're just streaming this portion as we get topics and speakers, so that way we have an overflow auditorium, because I know that some folks are not having options to get into this room. So I don't know if we've hit a max capacity or whatnot, but we've got an overflow. So we're live streaming it there, and then we're recording the actual breakout portions of XCamp. And then we'll be adding that to the EXPCON playlist on YouTube today.
And when does the session actually start?
So it starts at 10:15, so I say about 10 minutes, it looks like. We're already getting topics in, people are signing up for speakers, we've got people on the back end who are, putting the schedule out in real time. And once it's set, I'm sure Renee will pop in here and let everybody know. And then you can see on the far right-hand screen, if you want to zoom into that, you can see the different auditoriums that are listed in the times. So at some point before we break to those, that will be filled out.
Hey, Keith, can you tell us where I'm sorry, I got booted out. I'm back in now. Is Renee here?
Consider me with my earplugs in. I'm concentrating on the schedule.
Okay.
I'm here, Cheryl. Go right ahead.
Renee, I'm just wondering where we can find that schedule. Where's that schedule posted? I didn't hear Jen say that.
The schedule is posted on the big screen.
It will be posted
right
once we're
behind
live.
us. Yep, and it'll be completely filled out here once we're live. Going to be held in the XCamp Auditorium 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have sessions starting in about 10 minutes, and each session is about 40 minutes in duration. So we'll have sessions going back to back to back.
When we have the schedule posted, it might help to take a picture of the screen so you know where to go and you don't have to keep popping back in here.
Yeah, I think that will get better as we break out. We have less capacity in each of those rooms, right? So we should have smooth sail from there.
And Cheryl, I think you had a share that you were talking about. You've had some really great experiencing on doubling your business over the last couple of years.
Yes, Renee, I'm not sure how much you caught when I was speaking before. Apologize, got booted out. Yeah, I've got, one of the beautiful things about EXP is that we are in collaboration with our rev share groups, right? We watch them in their business, we watch them come in and just connect them with all of the great resources and the tools
Yes, Neil, that is our understanding in here.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Brent's on his way up. There he is.
Awesome.
There we go. I got my mic off. So, how's everyone doing? Type in the chat box. So, look, we're going to open up the chat box here, right, Sheila? So let's do some. What do you guys think about EXPCON so far? You liking it? All the speakers, all the great information, the international, the commercial, the new logos, what the company's putting together. Ooh, you guys are some happy campers. That is awesome. We got 257 users in the room right now. Yeah, that is awesome. Sheila, isn't this cool?
This is so cool. But I know that there are other people coming from the other room. So we wanted to get a chance to engage with you guys while we're waiting a couple minutes for it to start. So
Yes.
if you guys have any questions for either Brent or me, if you want to type them in the chat box, we're happy to answer questions while we wait for everybody else to show up.
Yes, we're reading the chat box. You can ask anything you want to know. What my favorite presents are for my birthday coming up in March, whatever you do, with Sheila, whatever. So I gotta put my glasses on. I can't. You read the first one, Sheila. I have my glasses on. I can't even read this.
They want to know when you're coming to Georgia.
When am I coming to Georgia? I don't know if I've ever been to Georgia, but I love peaches. So I know they got peaches in Georgia, so I could be tempted if I got like a crate of peaches. When I was a kid, I read a story about a peach, and it was a giant peach, and this little kid shoveled his way in and then ate his way through the peach. It still stays with me.
James and the Giant Peach.
It is. Oh, you guys know the name of that book. What is it called? Someone type that in.
James and the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach. That story freaked me out, and I loved it all in one shot. It's like eating your way through a sushi roll for those of you sushi lovers. That's too funny. So questions. What other questions do we have here, Sheila? I'm running.
So some people are asking us, what's the purpose? What are we going to talk about, or what's this session about?
Oh, why don't you tell them, Sheila? Tell them what we've been asked. This was on our idea, but it was. Go ahead, Sheila. Tell them what we're going to talk about.
Well, basically, people asked Brent and I to come together to kind of kick this off because they wanted you to hear our story. They wanted you to hear how we got here. They wanted you to hear how we've gotten to where we're at now in the company, just to encourage you guys, no matter where you're at in your journey, whether you're new here or have been here a while, just to kind of encourage you guys as we grow.
There's some great lessons learned as I interview, Sheila about her background and story, and about her reaching out to me, and things that happened that you just think are coincidence, and I say they're not, and just some. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. So we got 292. We got a minute left. What other questions? Any other questions here they have?
Let's see here. They were somebody wants to know when you're going golfing with them in Ontario.
Oh man, I'm a golfer. You guys all know that. Palm Springs, Las Vegas, Scottsdale.
Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Somebody asks, what's the one thing that we need to change in our mindset to become great recruiters?
Oh man, I don't know if you can. Maybe you disagree with me, Sheila, because you're a master. I don't think you can just, boom, I'm changing this. It's more like what you feed yourself, right? You're a product of what you feed your mind. If you feed your mind with fear and or just nothing, you're reading People magazine, you're watching Dawn of the Living Dead or whatever those zombie movies are, The Walking Dead, so are you filling your mind with good stuff? Are you reading stuff that is helping you? Are you watching TED Talks? Are you being inspired? Are you, reading books that'll help you go to the next level? So I think you're a product of what you put into your mind and the people you hang out with, and then that rubs off. That's my thoughts. How about you, Sheila?
I agree with that. We are what we think, right? The famous saying, we are what we think. And
yep. Okay, let's give them two of our favorite books. Give them two of your favorite books besides the Bible. We both love the Bible. That's a no-brainer. That is like the best book you'll ever read in your life, and it actually makes sense. And if you don't think it makes sense, you just never read it. You just keep opening it wherever you want, but it reads like a story. But besides that, what are two of the best, I hate to say it, but we'll call it self-help, personal development? Maybe that's a better, people hate the word self-help. How about this, personal development? Two of your favorite books you could recommend. I got a couple I'm thinking of, but how about you, Sheila? Then we'll start our thing.
Actually, one of the books I love is called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And I also love the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Now, this is so funny. Everybody loves that book. I've tried to read that book 5 times, and I cannot read the book. I literally can't get past the first 2 or 3 chapters of Think and Grow Rich. And there's another book, and everybody loves it. I'm a weird. I'm not saying, but there's another book called, I think it's called Wild at Heart. And supposed to be this amazing book. I've tried to read that book 7 times. I'm expecting this wild book. It's very cerebral. It's very mental. It's like I'd rename it like, if you want to take a nap, read the book Wild at Heart. I don't see what people see in the book. It is the most boring book ever written. And I know I'm making enemies out there. So my point is, people get struck in different ways. But to me, my favorite book, and that was not a put down. Everybody loves Think and Grow Rich and all those books. But The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived by Og Mandino. I like stories. Oh, yeah. The Greatest Salesman That Ever Lived. And then probably another profound book for me was Success, the Glenn Bland Method, which I think is out of print, but that book had a profound impact on me. Of course, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, The Magic of Thinking Big, Confidence and Power in Dealing with People. There's so many great books out there that you should just fill your mind with. Just start reading, start hanging out with people who are doing great things. It rubs off on you. Do you agree with that, Sheila?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's get started. We stalled a little bit. Man, we're up to almost 400 people in the auditorium now. It's cranking. So let's do this. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, so I want to interview you first. Tell everybody what you did before real estate. Like, where did you grow up? Just a Cliff Notes version. I'll do the same thing. And what did you do prior to real estate? Give us a little bit of your background.
Okay, Cliff Notes. I grew up in Northern Kentucky. I went to school for media, for radio and TV. I worked in the radio business for a number of years and then was recruited into the pharmaceutical business, ran a company for many years before moving into real estate almost 20 years ago. And then did that up until about 4 years ago when I came to EXP.
Awesome. So you, by the way, Kentucky, is that famous for making, is it bourbon? Kentucky? Yes. That's what I thought. And then you sold drugs for 10 years or something. That's what I'm getting out of this. You got into real estate as a bourbon and drug expert. You did so well. I'm learning a lot here today. No. This would be very valuable today. Okay, so enter real estate how many years ago?
18, almost 19 years.
You're just a baby compared to some of us in the audience.
Exactly.
So a lot of us done it a lot longer than that. So you get real estate, you do the normal things, and then and then tell us a bit about that, and you end up working for builders. But tell us take a minute or two, tell us that journey.
So I originally started working actually for Jerry Jones, the guy who owns the Cowboys. He owned a real estate company, and I worked for his company for a bit, and then went to work for David Weekley, which was a big national builder. And I would design custom homes, 10,000 square foot homes, and then help build them. So I did that for a number of years before I moved on the real estate end. And then I quickly wound up running a company. We were the exclusive HUD broker from Dallas to Arkansas. And we actually had offices 12 offices in 4 different states. And we built it up to where we had 15 REO contracts and the HUD contract, and my team, I had a team of 40 agents working for me. We sold over 6,000 homes together.
Wow, congratulations. That is just flat out awesome. I love it. I love it. Rebecca's trying to learn how to drive her avatar. It's You're doing good, Rebecca.
He's welcome to stay up here.
I know. Come on up here. Well, okay. So here you are working for these builders, and then you get a call. Actually, you didn't get a call. In fact, nobody called Sheila.
Nope.
You actually went to renew your broker's license. Tell them that story, because this is how you got into EXP.
Yeah, so basically in Texas, you have to renew your license every 2 years. And I was sitting in a real estate class. And it was funny because it's one of those things where you normally don't stay in class because you're running a company and you have a ton of deals going on. But for whatever reason, it was rainy that day and I decided to stay for lunch. And in walks Rob Flick. And he was the lunch sponsor. And he started telling us about this brand new company that had just come to Dallas called EXP. And there were 50 brokers in the room. And I was on the edge of my seat. By the time he was done, I was out of my seat at the front of the room saying, when can we meet?
I love it. So Rob is being scrappy. Maybe you guys could go sponsor a builder function, a real estate school, and just say, can I buy the coffee and donuts and speak to everyone for 5 minutes? And I think the only person that Rob got out of those 50 that day were you. Is that correct?
That's exactly right. Out of all of the classes he went to, I was the only one that joined him.
So he did this how many times? 4 times?
I think so, yeah, 4 times.
Yep. Well, little did he know how life-changing that would be. So you get into EXP, and were you pretty excited?
Well, I was blown away by the model, to be honest with you, because the company I was running a virtual company before I even knew about a virtual company. Because the offices I had all over the place, there was no way I could travel and meet with all the agents. So I had to do it virtually. And back then we didn't have Zoom. I was doing everything on GoToWebinar or GoToMeeting. Even Skype wasn't very stable back then. So I was having to do everything over online, just virtually, because there was no other way to actually take care of all the agents.
Wow, so you got an EXP and it fit really nice.
Oh my goodness, it blew my mind when I saw what he had created. And people ask me, what were you thinking when you were sitting there in your seat as Rob was showing you? And honestly, what popped in my mind was 50 states, because you got to realize I was running a huge HUD and REO business. And so I understood the leverage of having multiple offices and business in multiple places. And my vision was that if I could have agents in all 50 states, then I would never have to worry about leverage. I would never have to worry about crashes. We all lived through the crashes. So I wouldn't have to worry about business going up and down, because if Texas was doing bad, California would be doing good. If New York was doing bad, Florida would be doing good. So the 50 states is what was really in my head when I went after Rob, saying, I totally get this. I totally see what we can do.
So it wasn't the stock, it wasn't the rev share, it was being able to expand in all 50 states.
Absolutely. And knowing that leverage would create the rev share, but the stock really at that time, remember, we were pink sheets. We were we were less than $2 a share back then. I mean, it was like $1 something a share back then. So the stock, it wasn't really on my radar as much, but just the thought of the leverage of the growth and of what we could create was huge for me.
That is awesome. You know, it's funny. You saw 50 states. I did not lock the stock. It was a total turnoff to me. I was like uncomfortable with it. I wished it really wasn't there. The world where we are today, I didn't understand it. You know, I've never ordered from Amazon. You know, I've never done Dine and Dash. I've mastered Uber. I love Uber. And so I've discovered that Airbnb can be cool. And so interesting that you saw 50 states. Everyone sees different things. Other people love the stock. Other people, I was a rev share guy. When I saw 2.1 million a year, I was in. When I saw Connect, which was a predecessor, a forerunner to EXP, they were talking about making 100, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 a year. I'm like, I already do that. Why would I mess with that? But when I saw 2.1 million a year, I went, okay, that's different. No one's ever showed me a plan to get to 2.1 million a year. That is what lit my fuse, because I was on this big hamster wheel I created, and I loved it, but it was like, wow. So very interesting. So fast forward, you get into EXP, and then what happens? You started talking to people, right? And you started signing people up, right? The first you got here how many months before me?
1 month. So basically, as soon as I got here, I started making a list of everybody I knew, and I started with all the people initially from my coaching group. So that's where you and I met. And so I literally just made a list of all of the guys I knew from my coaching group and started making calls, because I knew if I got it, that someone else would get it. And I love when you tell the story. If you'll kind of tell people when I called you and what you did and stuff, I know people will enjoy hearing that.
Exactly. So why don't you tell them, though, how we met? We met. Where did we meet? How did we meet? Tell them that story.
So basically, the coaching group I was a part of, Brent was asked, if you guys don't know this, Brent was always asked to come speak at conferences around the real estate industry. And so he was invited to come to a conference in Dallas. And it was back in 2013 is when he was invited to come. And he was coming off of stage, and he was so hilarious. And you guys know Brent. Everybody loves Brent. I was sitting in my seat just cracking up because he was telling this open house story, and he was so entertaining. I went up and introduced myself, and we exchanged cards, and I said, I'd love to stay in touch, and maybe we can catch up in the future. And that's how I had his card.
Wow, thank God you kept my card. But here's the cool thing. You didn't call me. We didn't talk again for like 3 years.
Exactly.
So it was, I think, beginning of September 2016, and I was getting ready to go away to Mexico for my whatever anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary. Now we've been married 29 years. And I put you off because, like, well, next week I'll be gone for a week. I'm busy this week because I'm going to be gone for a week. And then I'll get back. I'm going to be slammed because I'll have been gone for a week and everyone's going to want a piece of me. So I made you wait, I think, 3 weeks to actually show me this model. Is that correct? Something like that?
Yes, and then you forgot about me.
Yeah, well, it's been 3 weeks. You can't expect me to remember. I was in the Starbucks drive-thru line.
Starbucks. You were standing in Starbucks, and I called you and I said, "Are you ready?" And you go, "Ready for what?" And I'm like, "Did you forget about our meeting?" And you're like, "Oh shoot, I'm standing at Starbucks. Give me 5 minutes." Yeah. And I'll go back to the office. And I said, "That's okay. I'll stay on the phone with you." Do you remember that?
Yeah. And I raced to the office. And so some of you are bummed when people forget or they're late. If they're a good person, they have empathy. Now I owe her. Now it wasn't just giving her my opinion. I felt bad. I messed up. So now I'm really going to pay attention. And so it's good. If they forget, it's good. If they're busy, because they know there's nothing better than Coldwell Banker. There couldn't possibly be anything better than Remax. I knew for a fact nobody could hold a candle to Keller Williams. Not a chance. They're in their own universe. It's not even close. And so when I was at Remax, I just Coldwell Banker, Remax, Keller Williams, it's all the same. And I might as well be at Remax. I've been there 12 years. I like it. They've been good to me. I'm good. And then I go to Keller, and Keller made me feel different. Keller made me feel like I was at the most special company on the planet, and I truly believed it. So Sheila, when I watched this, when you basically said, "Would you give me your opinion on EXP?" Right?
Yep, I said there's a new technology company that is sweeping the nation, and I would love your opinion to see what you think. I value your opinion, and I think you're amazing. And you said, yeah, I'd be happy to take a look at it.
Yep. And so enter my first exposure to EXP. I met Rob Flick. And by the way, Sheila and I met at a Haas Pratt seminar. Haas Pratt is on fire with EXP. He is now at EXP. And he's got Tariq, who's a big TV personality. Tariq's rocking and rolling, and he's going with EXP. We have the founder of what's the other, the big guy? What's it called? The other Tariq type person. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sheila?
Oh, Than Merrill?
Yeah. What's that? Fortune Builders. That's it. Fortune Builders. I don't watch TV. I know these guys are big stars, and if you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't watch TV. So unless it's golf, that is intelligent. And I'm not saying your shows, I'm really digging a hole here. I am not saying Tariq and Than Merrill's shows and all that are not intelligent. I actually do like watching $1 Million Listing Agent in like Manhattan and Beverly Hills. Cracks me up to watch those guys. It is so funny. It is so ridiculous. And the drama. It's like, remember As the Stomach Turns, as the General Hospital, Luke. Remember Luke and was it Luke and the woman? Was it Luke and oh shoot, I know someone's got to type it in the chat bar.
Laura.
Luke and Laura. Oh my God, I was an 8th grader, and we had to get it down from junior high and go watch Luke and Laura every day. And that's what $1 Million Listing. I'm way off topic. Okay, so back to this. So I watched the webinar, and back then they used to just kind of tell people about EXP, and Sheila created this kind of a presentation and kind of organized Rob, and Rob is a master presenter and just killed it. And I was listening. I'm leaning forward, and I'm watching the whole thing. And yeah. And then they're talking about 200,000 a year and 500,000 a year, and then finally they get up to 2.1 million a year. And I lean forward, pull my glasses off, and go, "This is different." And that's where do you remember me saying this? Eileen, do you remember what I said when I at the very end? Do you remember what I said to you?
Yes, you said, "I am standing up. I never thought I would say this in a million years, but I actually think I need to leave Keller Williams."
Yep, and I'm really, really interested in this. So I hang up with you guys, and Sheila goes, "Okay, you serious about doing due diligence? Are you serious about?" "Yes, I am." She goes, "Good. Go to join.exprealty.com. You're going to apply. This won't move your license, and we won't call Keller Williams, but you're going to apply, get an independent contractors agreement, and you start reading through that and really understand." I said, okay. So Lily went from watching to she became my sponsor in one swoop. You guys are like doing listing appointments and you leave without a signed listing agreement. Then you get all upset because some other EXP agent signed up your person. Look, if you walk away from that $500,000 listing, that $1 million listing, that $5 or $10 million listing without a signed listing agreement, you deserve to lose the listing. And listen to me, you got to be on it like I don't know, ants at a picnic. You gotta be on it every day. Hey, like today I'm booking appointments with people tomorrow. I go, "Hey, do you have 5 minutes tomorrow? Let's circle back tomorrow for 5 minutes." I may talk to each person for an hour, but everything's 5 minutes. Quit asking people, schedule an hour tomorrow. I wouldn't want to meet with you either. Stop saying that. "Well, we may talk for an hour." You're not a salesperson. It's just 5 or 10 minutes. And if they only got 5, that's all I'll take. But a lot of times it turns into 15, 20, 30-minute conversation. And so you'll get more follow-up appointments and you're just on them every day, answering questions, and you're moving them forward, getting them with other people, not you. And all of a sudden you start sponsoring like crazy. Everything you touch turns to gold. And so Sheila, thank you for reaching out to me. You literally changed my life. I mean, I think this year we'll earn about $6 million. Next year, about $10 million. And I've been you know, it's the same old year in, year out at real estate. If you make 100, 200,000, that's what you do after year. I love these people who just cruise up on stage.
I know, it's cracking me up.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, I'm glad they don't like have some button where it's like flashers. You know, they run up and they run across like the soccer games, right? Those football games. I'm just waiting for that. And someone's excited. That is not a suggestion. But anyway, so where are we? So what else can we tell them, Sheila? Any other thoughts about our story? I think that's about it for the story, huh?
Yeah, I think it's important for everybody to know that I was not big like Brent. I mean, a lot of people come in and say, oh, well, I'm younger or I'm newer, or I'm not that big, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. Neither was I. It's not about you. It's about the opportunity. That's what you have to keep in mind, is that it isn't about who you are. It's about the opportunity you have to offer them. And where they're at in their business is the fact that, you know, Brent was on a treadmill, and you don't know what's going on in that person's life. I mean, Brent felt like he called it the hamster wheel. And he said, I'm so tired of being the gerbil on the hamster wheel. And he just didn't even know until he saw the opportunity, what he was missing or what was there for him. So I think just don't make it about yourself, make it about them.
Yes.
And that, you know, hey, listen, you could say, hey, listen, Brent, I don't know if this is going to work for you or not. I mean, truthfully, we're good for some people, we're not good for others, but would you be open to at least taking a look at the opportunity and see if it's something you're interested in?
That's good. It's beautiful. And I love what you said. You weren't big like me, but hey, I just lost 43 pounds. So I'm working on getting smaller, man. I'm heading in the right direction. Anyway, so you don't have to be big like Brent. I'm trying to be smaller. But, I'm teasing. I know. Okay, so back to this though. So I think one of the things why Sheila is so successful. I mean, today she lives in the Caribbean. You still got your ranch, your dream ranch you brought in Dallas, that beautiful place with the, you
Yes.
still got that?
Yes.
So me too. I 6 months in the Caribbean, 6 months in Northern California. Every 45 days I go back and forth. And it's pretty cool to be able to do this, but I treated it like a business out the gate. Sheila was the example. She created the webinars at EXP. She was the person. If you think it was Gene Frederick, Gene is amazing, and he's up next. And I love Gene, Gino the legend, Gene the legend, Frederick, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. He is amazing, but he is not like the organizer. And neither is Rob Flick, man. Those guys were presented EXP to each other in a rainstorm at 2 o'clock in the morning with papers blowing across the back patio porch of Gene's cabin. They're like a snowball going down a Swiss Alp, and I'm just like them. But Sheila is actually intelligent. Sheila organized us, came up with systems. And so, but one of the things I did was, as I treated this like a business, I made sure I had time. I carved out the time when I would work, when I would expand. I carved out capital. I made sure I had money to do this. I sold less on purpose to create margin. Some of you need to sell more. You got bills to pay. You need to sell more. And prior to EXP, the only answer was sell more, and spend less and net more money. It's all about net. It's all about bottom line. Sheila and I, we don't have to get out of bed this year, and we'll both earn millions of dollars. And so you've got to treat it like a business. And that would be my number one advice to you guys, is get real serious with your business plan. So Sheila, what are some things, did you make a list of names? Did you create a wealth chart? Did you do a vision board? What are some of the things you did? And some of your mics on, if you could mute your mics, that would be great. Go ahead, Sheila.
Yeah, I actually did make a list. I pulled out all the business cards and made a list of people. But the funny thing is, back then, Rob did not show the wealth chart. So what happened was Rob was, he had a little meeting with me and a couple other people, and he pulled out this example of this wealth chart thing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Why have you been hiding that from everybody? I said, that is the key to helping everybody understand how to do this. Like, he wasn't even showing the wealth chart then. It's like Rob is so good, he doesn't realize the stuff he has is so valuable. But that's when he started doing the drawings and doing the meetings and actually showing people stuff. But yeah, I made a list of people and literally just started making phone calls. And I mean, that's what we do today. We still make phone calls to people. We make phone calls to people we know. We make phone calls to people we do business with. We make phone calls to people who reach out to us because they found us on social media. And just really, it's about relationship, right? Even though you and I didn't know each other, we had some kind of little connection through our coaching group, but it's about establishing relationship with the other person and then finding out how you can be of value to them.
Yes.
And if the opportunity is something that's interesting to them, and if they have possibly a pain point that EXP can meet or that you can help them with.
Absolutely. And to the new people in the audience, like, well, I have nothing to offer people. Go educate yourself. Learn about Michael Lewis Marketing Bar. You can give them a buyer presentation and a listing presentation that is flipping off the moon, over the moon good. And it would cost maybe $232 to get both. And so, but because you have not educated yourself, you can't offer that. So you're not coming from value. It's Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, the Michael Lewis Marketing Bar. Google it, find him. It's $120 to join, and then it's $100 to highlight a home. Find a home, ask someone for a beautiful, stunning home, and then they use that in the buyer presentation, the listing presentation, and then show people, I can help you get this. Let me help you. And you may have never sold a home, but when they see that, your listing presentation, it's 10 times better than theirs. You know what agents have for listing presentation? 90% of them have nothing. So you can begin to come from value. You maybe go listen to a Jay Kinder training. Go listen to a Don Hobbs training. Go at brentgove.com. I have training on my open house program. Maybe you really like that. Go, oh my gosh, you got to hear this. You may have never sold a home, but you can still come from contribution and value. Here, read this book. Beat them for coffee. Bring them a book and start pouring into them. You don't necessarily, and they're not going to say, how many homes have you sold? Very rare. They just assume you've sold hundreds. Let them assume what they want. You're the one in your mind, you're walking around with a giant billboard over your head that says, I'm new. Lose the billboard. What do you think, Sheila?
Absolutely. There's so many resources, you guys. You can go back through all the EXP resources. Shannon Pyatt won the best listing presentation at EXP and won the $5,000. He crushes it. If you have not seen his listing presentation, it's all digital. It's super slick, done on an iPad. He brings nothing else in with him but the iPad. Shannon Pyatt, P-Y-A-T-T. But there's so many people here that you just need to be involved, get into workplace, join the groups, get to know who people are. We have so many coaches and so many monster agents in here that are willing to give and serve and share. There's no reason why you shouldn't have everything at your fingertips to be successful in your market. Do you want to do a little question and answer or anything?
I do. I want to share one thing before we go to Q&A though. Here's what's holding all of you back. Every one of you from your goals and dreams. It's not capital. It's not the fact that you're new. It's not anything other than your ego. You are so worried about what other people think, about whether they're going to go, this is a great idea, this is a bad idea. And so otherwise you would call 10 or 15 people today. I do not recommend cold calling. I do not recommend our companies against mass cold calling, mass emailing. If we all did it, it would just be chaos. I do recommend meeting people. There's lots of ways to meet people. If you can't figure out to meet people, I can't help you. You just don't want it bad enough. Go to marketing meetings, go to Mike Ferry, Tom Ferry, Joe Stump, Brian Ferry, Craig Proctor, go to John Chaplack, go to Remax's annual convention, Sotheby's annual convention, Keller Williams. I'm not a Keller Williams. Go to Mega Camp, you'll meet people. And don't prospect them for EXP. Go learn, grow, and then gather names. Sheila did not call me for 3 years. I did not remember her. It doesn't matter. No. In fact, I felt like an idiot for not remembering her. I felt like this egotistical maniac. I couldn't remember this nice woman from Dallas. Now I owed her one. It creates empathy. Well, I'm not going to call them they don't remember me. It's good that they don't remember you because they'll go, oh, I don't. But now they feel kind of bad. Well, what are you selling? What do you got? You know, nice people. Not everyone's that. The drivers are like, I ain't that way. That's because you're a driver. You're an a-hole. Now, but the saying wins all this. The drivers are like, I'm just kidding. Don't get your all worried. I'm a high D too. Sheila, what is your now Sheila's probably a driver, but she's got a lot of emotional intelligence. You've reined it under control. You're probably a high D. What is your
I'm a high I, high D.
High D. That's
Yeah.
why you and I get along. I'm a high I, high D. I max the
Yep.
chart.
Yeah, I know you do. You're like 99% I.
Yeah, and 98% D, but my eye's just a smidge higher. So here's what I want to tell you guys. You ready? And people just don't do it. First thing you do is build a vision board. Some people call it a dream board. Other people say it's too corny. I can't handle the word dream board. A vision board. Map out what you want your life to be like. Where are you going to live? Are you going to be married? Take a picture of a family if you're single, on the beach making sand castles. I don't know. Do you like to travel? Maybe put a picture of Greece. Do you want to give to charities? Sheila gives more in a year than many people make annually, and she's the biggest giver. And my wife and I had to create an Excel spreadsheet for the things we care about that we give, because there's many. And so we've always given. Now, if you don't give when you have nothing, you won't give when you have a lot. You give now, you can give your time, your talents, your treasure. You can give love, you can give a hug. Some of the most important things I've ever been given were somebody looking at me and telling me I was special, that I was going to do something great with my life, that they loved me, that they cared me, that they forgave me for something stupid I did. Forgiving people can change their life. It'll change yours. If you don't forgive someone, you're the one in prison. I'll never forgive them, that SOB. You're the one in prison, not them. They're not even thinking about you, you know? And so you can give love. It doesn't have to just be money, but definitely give where you can. But I want to say this: build a vision board and then build the wealth chart. You can get it at brentcove.com under Agent Attraction. Look for it. I'm not going to tell you, just go look. Watch every video. There's 12 of them. You can watch one a night for the next 12 nights. But there's PDFs below all the videos of stuff I'm talking about. You can get one of those. Build a list of names. The first week, we built a vision board. We built the wealth chart, and we made a list of names the first week. And some of you have been doing this for 2 years, and you still don't have one or two of those things done. And then you wonder why you only have 200 people in your group or 600 people in your group, because your group's duplicating you, and you didn't make chocolate chip cookies. The recipe calls for this, and this, and you left out the flour, or you didn't put in the chocolate chips. Follow the plan. We did exactly, James and I did exactly what Sheila and Rob and Jean told us to do. If they said jump, we said how high, and we tried to jump higher and do more than they said. Would you agree, Sheila? We just that's what we did.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, it is all about duplication. And that's what Rob drilled into us. It's don't recreate the wheel, just do what has already been proven, because a lot of people in here may not know that Jean and Rob built Keller. I mean, really, Rob was the #1 recruiter in history at Keller Williams, still is the #1 recruiter, and Jean was the mastermind behind it all. So between those two guys, they literally are the reason why Keller is where they are, which is why we're having the success we're having here. And so Brent and I were smart enough to realize that if you got the two best guys ever in history of building companies, why would we try to change it? We would, you just do what they say, and it works. I also posted in the chat too, I do a vision board digitally. I put that in the chat for you guys. You can download it. It's a little video so that you can, if you don't want to physically create a vision board, do it digitally. So that's in the chat box for you guys.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, man, where can we go from here? I would say this: come up with a business plan for your business. Do your business planning now for 2021. And hopefully you're not going to go from 80 sales a year to 180. Hopefully you'll just stay at 80 sales, but sign up 40 agents. Everybody's trying to get 40 listings. let's say you did that 3, 4, 5 years ago. What does that earn you today? Nothing. The return on investment is horrible. It's a 0.0 return. The 40 agents that Sheila and I enlisted 40 years ago it's growing exponentially. We have lost control of our income in a positive way. We're just getting going. We're at 38,000. We'll be over 100,000 in the next 18 months, 24 months. No problem. You watch the stock. Well, I'm buying stock like crazy. I'm buying. And I believe in this company, and I'm so pumped about 2021. It's going to be awesome. The economy, the world's economies is so pent up because of COVID-19. And look out, baby. You got a lot to be looking for, but you are your greatest asset and your biggest adversary. You got to win between those two ears of yours and let it drop into your heart. So we're going to take questions. We have 10 minutes left here. And Sheila and I decided we'd finish early a little bit and take Q&A from the audience. So that'll be done in the chat bar. So if you want to ask a question about something we've said, maybe you didn't quite understand it, or you want us to cover something, right, Sheila? We're going to read some of the Q&A in the chat bar for the last 10 minutes.
Well, actually, they're asking us to wrap it up sooner to get ready. So I think we have maybe a couple minutes. So. Okay. We know Gene and Elizabeth, you guys stay in the room. Gene Frederick, the legend, and Elizabeth Riley, his sponsor, are coming on right after us.
So somebody who knows what's happening, how much time do we have left? Who's ever running?
Well, we were supposed to have 10 minutes, but James just texted me.
All right. Well, somebody, all right. Well, what do we have? 5 minutes, 3 minutes? I don't even know.
I would just say a couple minutes, maybe a few questions.
All right.
So as far as questions coming in.
I have a question.
Okay.
We're only doing the, hold on. We're only doing the chat bar for quality. Type your question in the chat bar. So please turn your mic off so we can hear. Please turn your mics off. I have a question I saw in the chat bar. It says, can we role play? So Sheila, you role play with me. Let's say you met me at the board. Maybe we did a deal together 3 years ago. Let's role play with me. Prospect me, and then I'll prospect you.
Hey Brent, how are you doing?
Awesome. Who is this?
This is Sheila Fajon. Do you remember that we had worked on 123 Banana Street together?
When was that?
It was about, I don't know, probably 6-8 months ago. Do you remember that house?
Oh yeah, Banana Street. How can I forget? Sure. What's up?
Do you have a quick minute?
Yeah. Shoot.
Well, I wanted to ask you, have you by chance had a chance to hear about the company that's been rolling out in our city called EXP?
Yeah, man. I've been seeing all kinds of stuff on social media, Facebook. I'm seeing a lot of agents go over there. I don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Have you taken a look at it at all, or have you seen anything informational?
I've had 4 or 5 agents talk to me about it, and they sure seem excited. But I can't honestly say I've taken a look at it.
Okay.
I've been busy. Everybody wants me to watch that Brent Gove webinar thing, whatever that thing's called. I just haven't found the time to do it. I'm so busy. I've got like 12 homes in escrow right now. My hair's on fire.
Your hair's on fire. I know you're on the wheel, right? You're just busy nonstop. So I wanted to see if we could have coffee together. Do you have time maybe next week? I can meet you before work, or I would love to just sit down with you for a couple minutes and just chat with you and kind of catch back up, and maybe we'll have a chance to kind of review a few things about it.
Sure, that'd be great. I'd love to.
Okay. What day? Thursday?
I golf Thursday mornings. I can do Wednesday or Friday.
Wednesday works. You want to say 7?
I drop the kids off. I could do 8:30 at the earliest.
8:30. I will meet you at the Starbucks over there by Plano Parkway. Is that good?
I don't agree with Starbucks politics, but there's a great little coffee shop I know in town. I'll meet you there.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. I look forward to meeting with you. Thanks,
Sweet.
Brent.
Awesome. Boom. Okay, so she just prospected me. That's how it goes. people always ask me, what do I say to a great job, Sheila? Everyone give her a thumbs up, type something in chat bar, Sheila's rock star, give her a thumbs up, give her some love. Very well done. That's the kind of stuff we've done for 4 years. Everyone says, well, what do you say to a franchise owner? What do you say to a big team? What do you say to a brand new agent? What do you say to someone selling 20 homes a year? What do you say to someone selling 80 homes a year? I say the same thing. So it doesn't matter. Sheila could be any of those people. I'm going to say that she runs a team with 7 agents and she's knocking down about 150 sales a year. I'm going to call her up and go, Sheila Fageron, Brent Gove. I don't know if you remember me, but I met you 15 years ago at a RE/MAX convention in Las Vegas. And I don't know if you remember, you spilt your Coke on me at lunch. Do you remember that?
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you remember that. Yes, I remember. How are you doing?
I'm still mad about it. No, I'm kidding, Sheila. So I'm just teasing you, but I never forgot you. And do you have a quick minute? I'm actually calling you business related. Do you have a quick second?
Yeah. What's up?
Awesome. So by now you had to have heard about EXP. I mean, it's taken over the world. What have you've heard about it? Correct, right?
You know, I've seen the signs, but honestly, I just haven't taken a look at it. I have seen the signs, but you know, I'm just so busy. I just don't have time to think about anything else.
No, man, I totally hear you. And just like you, man, and we're selling homes like crazy. I tell you what I'd love to do. I would love to get your opinion because you live in Seattle, Washington. You live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It doesn't matter where you live. I want to know if you think this is a relevant business model for real estate in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in Bozeman, Montana. It doesn't matter where she lives. Is this a relevant model? I really respect you, and I specifically want your opinion. Now, be a little harder on me. Say, Brent, I love you, man. I'm not leaving RE/MAX.
Yeah, you know, Brent, I've had so many people call me about this, but I'm happy where I'm at. I've been here forever. I hate change. I really just don't have time to do this.
Awesome. Totally get it. So here's the deal, Sheila. Stay at RE/MAX for the next 20 years. I really need your mind on this. I don't know anybody else in Bozeman. I don't know anybody else in Miami. I respect you. It'd mean a lot to me if you just took a few minutes and peeked at it and give me thumbs up, thumbs down, because I'm getting ready to invest a lot of time and energy into it this year. And I want to know if you think I don't know too many people in Florida, and I have respect for you. Would you look at it for me? Tell me no, I'm just too busy.
You know, Brent, honestly, I am too busy, but I respect you, and I will.
Tell me no. You're too busy.
I'm too busy, Brent.
I said, all right, Sheila, you're awesome. Thank you for taking my call. Boom. I move on. People have said that to me. I wanted her to give me one of those. Now you could do what you were going to do. Well, okay. If I don't have to leave Coldwell Banker or RE/MAX.
Yeah. I'm okay giving you my opinion. I'll give you my opinion.
That's all I want. So ask me how long it would take.
So Brent, what is this? Are we meeting? Is it a video? How do you
I need you in front of your computer with a good internet connection. And it's going to be real fast. What does your schedule look like tomorrow, on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday? I'd like to do mornings before your day gets crazy. If you're like me, your phone's blowing up with instant messages, text messages, emails, political stuff, whatever. Can we do something in the morning? Can I get you in front of your computer early? Early, like 5:30. 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. See, a lot of you out there in the audience, you're just sending it to people and you're not making an appointment with them. She booked a coffee with me. I'm making an appointment with her. I'm in California. She's in Florida or Cheyenne or Seattle. I can't meet her in person, but you'll notice that we both are making appointments with people. You got to pay attention here. And so is there a morning that's better for you tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, Sheila?
I can do Thursday at 7 Central.
Okay, so you're being too easy. So she says Thursday. I give her 3 to Thursday. Great. Would you like to do 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, 8, 9 o'clock? What's good for you? I like to the earlier the better because I really want your full attention. It's gonna be real fast. Are you early? What time could you do?
Well, I get up really early, but I have other things that I do, so I can do 7 o'clock on Thursday.
Perfect. 7 o'clock. And you're in Florida, so that's Eastern. So that'll be 10 for me. Fine. Awesome. So I need you in front of your computer with a good internet connection. Make a stiff cup of coffee. I'm going to blow your mind. I cannot wait to get your feedback, your take on this model. So it's Thursday morning, 7 a.m. your time. I'm going to send you a text reminder Wednesday night. If you're like me, you're going to forget. So I'm going to send you a little text reminder, and I look forward to connecting with you Thursday morning. Ask me, Brent, you got anything you can email me? Anything I can look at?
Yeah, Brent, do you can you send me a calendar invite and maybe put a link in there and send me a video or something beforehand, or a handout to look over?
You know, I'm not sure how to do a calendar invite, and no, there's nothing I can send you ahead of time, but I'll see you at 7 a.m. Thursday morning, okay?
Sounds good. Appreciate you, Brent.
I don't send them anything. I don't do calendar invites. I just need you in front of your computer with a good internet connection, and then I got something I want to show you. It's going to blow your socks off. Now, that's the way I talk. If you don't say blow your socks off, you just say it's going to, whatever you do, be you. So I think we got to go. I see Gene Frederick walking up the thing. Hopefully it was helpful to everyone. Love you guys. I think we went over.
Bye, guys.
Gene, get up here, Gene. We love you, man. And Sheila, thank you for.
Bye, guys.
Adios, everybody.
Bye.
Gino the legend.
Round of applause.
That was amazing. Awesome.
I walked through Gene.
Awesome.
Hey, Brent,
Yes.
we can actually go 15 minutes longer. We're pushing all of the sessions 15 minutes
Well,
because we got started late.
all right. Well, then we'll do some more Q&A. Gene, get off the stage. No, I'm kidding. I love Gene. Stay up here with us.
Yeah,
Gene,
Gene,
get up
come
here.
back up with us.
Gene, get up here.
Gene, come on.
No, I'm next. I'm next.
Oh, well, you can still get up. Well, say something if you want to say something. But who has questions off something that we just said that maybe sparked a question for you? You'll notice I don't email people things. I don't send them the model explained. I book an appointment with them to watch it with them. Is what I do, and I watch it with them. Okay, you're there. Type this in, themodelexplained.com. I'll watch it too. When it's over, we'll talk. Sheila, do this to me. People do this. Well, how long is it? Say that to me.
Yeah, how long is it, Brent?
It's short. It's super short. Hey, I'll see you Thursday morning at 7. Say, now go harder. Exactly how long is it?
Yeah, Brent, I only have like 15 minutes. How much time do you actually need?
I tell you what, if it bores you after 5 minutes, we'll turn it off. But if you're like me, you're going to be stunned. So I'll see you Thursday morning at 7. Okay, Sheila?
Sounds good.
So I'm not telling her. I don't take the bait. He goes, oh, we need an hour. They're just going to back up on you. So let's walk to the edge of the stage here, Sheila. I can't talk in the back. I got to be right on the edge. So come on up here. So what questions do you guys have for Sheila? Read the chat because I can't read that quick.
Okay.
Crazy. Pick a question. We'll do some
I know
more
they're
questions.
going so fast. Jeez.
We're chumming.
What video do you share?
Well, there's Gene Frederick's 3-napkin presentation. There's, I think Jay Kinder has one. There's different people have stuff. Here's what I say about the video. Pick the one that you like, that you believe in, that you're excited about. That's the video you should share. Sheila, what video do you use?
I actually don't share a video. I actually do live presentations.
So you go through the PowerPoint slides.
I created my own, yep. And I actually do similar to what Gene Frederick talks about. I spend the first amount of time doing the team A, tell me about yourself. And I'm basically getting to know them, profile them from a disc profile perspective, trying to figure out who they are, what motivates them, what could be possible things that they would be interested in the presentation based on their personality profile. Before I ever start the presentation, I want to know who I'm talking to.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, I see one here. Very good. I love one. EXP is a multi-level marketing scheme. What do you say to that? That is awesome. I love this question. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Is Keller Williams a multi-level marketing scheme, or are they the largest real estate company in the world? And I just shut up. And they go, well, they're the largest real estate company in the world. Exactly. We copied their 7-level system. Keller Williams shares back to their agents for 7 generations profit. What's the hardest thing to earn in business? Profit. And then they take the hardest thing to earn and they cut it in half. And they take half of what the hardest thing is to earn and they share it with all their agents. And so it's cool. Most companies do nothing. So kudos to Keller Williams. But here's the deal. EXP does revenue share. It's not profit. It can't be messed with. And it's like 40 times more powerful. And so, and that's what I say to them. I go, so, and just honestly, for you to even say it's a multi-level thing, it just means you totally don't get this. The other thing I do is this, we'll role play with you, Sheila. We'll take some more questions. Sheila, say, this is just going to crack you guys up. Sheila, say, hey, I watched the modelexplain.com, or I watched this, and just say, yeah, it's not for me. I'm just not interested. Say that.
Okay, Brent, I saw your video. This is not what I'm interested in. It just seems like an MLM. I don't want to recruit.
Oh my gosh, Sheila, this is so funny. Here's what I know for a fact. You are so bright. You are so sharp. You were texting or emailing or took a phone call while that video played, because obviously we're a multi-billion-dollar real estate company. We're not that, and there's nothing wrong with MLMs. We're not one. We're not selling products, goods, and services. We're a real estate company that shares back revenue to our agents for helping grow the company. And I go, but here's this. There is absolutely no way you watched it, because you'd be so excited right now with questions. So I promise you this. The kids came in, you took a phone call, you were texting the whole time, you were emailing them, maybe writing an offer. There is no way you watched it. Am I right? And I just shut up. And here, you know what they say to me? They say, and they go, oh my gosh, how'd you know? Say that to go, oh my gosh, how'd you know? Say that, Sheila.
Well, how do you know that, Brent?
Because you'd be excited. And they don't say, how do you know that? They go, oh my gosh, how'd you know? I go, because you're too smart. See, one of two things is going to happen here. They're going to drag you across the fence to their side, which is negative, angry, frustrated. It doesn't work. It's a shame. It's this, it's that. You're just trying to get your friends in. Or you're going to bring them to your side of the fence. The possibilities, the positive. It's amazing. It's incredible. If you're saying what you're saying, there is no way. And every once in a while, I get people say, no, I watched it twice. I clearly understand it. So say that to me. Say, I watched it twice. I clearly understand it. Go ahead.
Yes, Brent, I watched it twice. I understand exactly what it says.
Awesome. Well, hey, you never know. Well, Sheila, so nice talking to you. If you need anything, call me. I'm still your friend. I was your friend before EXP. I'm your friend after. If you need anything, in fact, I have a new listing presentation I'm going to send you. It's going to blow your mind. And I stay in relationship. I don't beg them. I move on. Most of the time they go, you're right. I watched the first 3 minutes and walked off. And I go, I'll say stuff like, you probably only saw half of it. You probably only saw like 4 or 5 minutes of it, right? Yeah, that's all I saw. I go, that means you didn't even see it. The first 4 or 5 minutes is just laying out, and you actually never saw anything. Come on, let's make an appointment. I want to show this to you. I'm telling you, if you'll trust me, it'll change your life. Brent, I just don't have time for this. Okay, fine, I'm down the road. I wasn't as good as the TMI thing. Tell me about yourself that Jean does and Sheila does. I book an appointment, watch the webinar, answer questions, you in or out. Book an appointment, watch the webinar, answer questions, you in or out. I did that 30 times a month, once a day. 5 signed up every month, 25 said no. I focused on the 5 that said yes. I dwelled on the 5 that said yes. I supported and helped the 5 that said yes every month. 8 months later, I had 40. Game over. There is a finish line. There is no finish line with real estate. Listen to me. There's no finish line. You could sell 800 homes a year, and your reward is you get to do it again next year, except you lost 2 of your star agents because they're going to go farm their own team, and there goes 50, 60 deals a year. Now you're back down to 670 from 800 or 900, and then the market corrects, and now you're caught with contracts, and you're in trouble. It is crazy. So I just want to tell you, the 40 people I listed, as Rob Flick likes to put it, I listed 40 agents. So did Sheila. We convinced, we sold, we attracted, we recruited, we convinced. You guys attract listings. You get 40 people. You sold 40 sellers on listing with you. What's your reward? You get to do it again next year. You get to drive all the town. You get to deal with it next year. Here, you do it once. There's a finish line to cross, and then you lose control of your income in a positive way. You sign them up and support them. Sign and support. Sign, and be intense about it. Be very purposeful about it. Sheila, other thoughts on some of that as we about wrap this up and give it over to Jean?
So I think what your point where you were talking about is really important for most of the people in this room is just hit play. Just hit play. All you have to do is get on a Zoom call, you guys, pull up have Brent's video ready or Rob's video or Jean's video ready, and just hit play. And you can stop it in between each section and say, you know, let's talk about this. What questions do you have about this? But just hit play, because the truth is these guys have gone before you and they've created amazing webinars and amazing videos, and people keep asking about my slides. I use Jean's presentation, you guys. I use the napkin presentation. So these guys have already created it all. I'm just imitating and duplicating what they're doing. It's not about recreating something new. It's about taking what has been done and just hit play and duplicate. That's it. You're just building the relationship with them and opening the door to the opportunity with them.
And I do want to say one beautiful, Sheila, thank you. The thing is, if you watch it with them, my success rate, if I'd watch it with them in their presence, was like 68% success rate. When I wasn't with them, it dropped to like, I would say 48%, which is a big difference, 20%. And then if they were just so far away and we couldn't connect and we just couldn't watch it together, it drops like 30-something%. So if you can, would you mail your listing presentation, or do you drive 45 minutes through traffic, spend an hour, then do the rest? So that is the deal.
Awesome.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. I think we're done.
I think we're done. All right, Jean, get up here and take over the meeting. Thanks, everybody, for having us.
Bye.
And, man, 700 users in the room now, 700 guests. That's awesome. Jean, take it away. Man.
What? Look at Brent. Look at Brent go.
Boop.
Let's thank Sheila and Brent. Where's Elizabeth?
I'm trying to get up there. I'm in the crowd, but it's not letting me up on stage. I'm working on it.
Actually,
hey guys.
Her on
thank
stage.
Brent.
Do you see me on stage?
Yes, you're on stage.
I'm on stage.
I believe that's you.
Well,
Elizabeth
that's weird.
is on
Okay,
stage.
now I'm on stage. Howdy.
Hey.
Hi, Gino.
Where are you, baby?
I'm right next to you.
Oh, there you are.
I wish I could hug your neck, and Brent and Sheila, but this is awesome.
I love your shoes.
Yeah, you know. And my feet are feeling great today, too, so even better. Even better. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to be on stage with you. This is an awesome group of people. We have like almost 700 people in here. This is amazing.
Super duper. I'm telling you guys, I was listening to what Brent and Sheila were telling you all the way we like to do it. We're going to tell you our story a little bit. And then, quite honestly, we would love for you guys to be very participatory, to go in the chat box, ask us things. Hey, Elizabeth, I'm going to quiz you right off the bat. How did you even talk to me in the beginning? What'd you say?
I said, I like to seek wise counsel. You mean your opinion means a lot to me. You are retired, actually, remember? And I said, I need you to tell me if I'm crazy for considering this company.
Exactly right.
But the funny thing is Gino, I never ever in a million years thought you would ever consider this company. I really wanted you to tell me that this, I mean, sometimes when things seem too good to be true, they are. And you've had an amazing experience and your reputation with owning 7 market centers with Keller Williams, a region, you owned franchises, you owned real estate companies for 30-something years. And so I knew that you would be able to look at this objectively and tell me what I was missing, because I only knew the real estate world from an agent perspective.
Well, so think of that. This retired dude, Gino, you know, nobody came up to me from other places and said, hey, could you look at a new model? You and Jill Liebernight came up to me and said, hey, could you just check out this model? Guys, write that down. It is that simple. It is that simple to just ask anybody in your market or anybody you respect, even if they're retired, hey, could you just look at the, I want you to poke holes in this. So what happened after that?
So back up a little bit. You know, we were at Keller Williams for backstory is Gene was my team leader at Keller Williams for a number of years. And we were a big family. We loved Gene. He loved all of his agents. And when he left, he retired. I continued just selling real estate. And that year in 2014, we had like 650 agents in our market center, which you were retired, but you were really the reason our market center grew to the point that it grew. And I was the #1 individual agent, and I was burned out. I was like, this isn't, it's all business. You know, we talked about God, family, business, and it was all business. And I was like, this isn't fun anymore. And I was licensed with Keller Williams in Atlanta, Georgia, and my whole Atlanta crew had all gone to eXp Realty. Now, Ian had become friends with Glenn Sanford because they were building websites and doing all sorts of cool things when nobody understood how cool it was going to be. And so they just kept saying, hey, we want you to look at this. Our founder is going to be in Austin. Would you meet with him? And if I didn't respect them and I didn't care about them, I would have never met with Glenn. And I met with Glenn and Debbie at the time. And Glenn is showing me the world. I even think he took me into an executive board meeting, and I had no idea. In the world, he's telling me all about EXP. He's telling me about the stock and that we're the Amazon.com of real estate. And I was like, how exciting would that be? But really what it was is Glenn. You know, I always tell people don't really care what you say. It's how you make them feel. I knew Glenn was a visionary. He was a leader, and I trusted and believed him. He was one of the most humble people I'd ever met. So I met with Glenn. There were 400 agents in the company at the time. Jason Guessing flew down. I went to dinner with Jason. And on my way home from dinner, Gene, I don't know if you remember this, I called Gene. I said, Gene, can you meet with this guy that's here tomorrow? And Gene's like, sure, I'll meet with him. And so they were supposed to have breakfast. And I never heard from Gene all day. Later that day, I'm like, hey, did you guys ever have your meeting? He goes, oh, yeah, we're at our house playing basketball. So they became fast friends. And then Gene and I would sit in the back of a Starbucks, in the back of Barnes & Noble, because nobody would find us there. And for 5 months, we vetted this model. And then do you remember what you came to me and told me about you and Susan? No, not Hook, I'm Harold McGee. It's Giga Maggie, by the way.
Okay.
Gene, you remember?
I just told you I'm doing it. And I'm after sorry.
You came to me and you said, okay, I need you and Wes to go to dinner with Susan and myself. And we need to convince Susan that we're going to sell all of our market centers and our region. And we're going to join EXP and we're going to do this.
And what, wasn't that dinner fun with your husband and my wife? Isn't that cool?
Well, usually, yes. And if anybody knows your wife, she's always smiling. She loves everybody, right? She's always a big hugging person, always positive. And she sat there across from us with her arms folded, right? But and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be fun. But what was really cool is that Wes, my husband, and Susan, your wife, trusted us. And I was trusting you because I didn't see the vision or understand the model like you did, Gene. This was all you kind of showing us. But they trusted us to do something that we thought was crazy at the time. And 5.5 years later, you know, we're at 38,000 agents.
Well, here's what I'm going to say, guys. Think of that story. One thing you want to take from it, you've got to include spouses, partners, in the decision-making process. And when you do, it works. But I think I've interviewed more people, and here's what's going to happen. I want you guys to ask us questions after we get done with this story real quick. A lot of you will ask me questions. Well, how do you get them to make the move? How do you do this? I will tell you, I've been interviewing agents for 31 years. If they're not coming right away, there's something in the background keeping them from coming. And it's almost always personal. Always personal. And so I really try to get a meeting with their spouse, with their mother, with their whoever it is that I think is close to them in real estate, and try to do the presentation to them, full presentation, really get to know them. And thank you, Wes. And Wes isn't in here today. Maybe he is, but
no, he's not.
Thank you. You know, Susan's downstairs right now, but thank you, Susan, for And I've always loved to have, this is the first time Elizabeth and I have been on stage together. I mean, to say thank you, Elizabeth, thank you as my sponsor. I really appreciate it. Great story.
Well, I thank you, and I value our friendship, and I value the fact that you took, it was again, the conversation, and people join people, right? I mean, I trusted you, you had led us, I knew your guidance, I knew you would not steer me wrong, and but I never in a million years realized how many lives we would impact and how many lives we'd change, and so that's pretty amazing.
Hey, I'm going to think, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, when we joined in April 24th, 2015, I flew to Phoenix to, actually, just so you guys know, I only met two people, was Jason Gessing and Glenn Sanford in person. So I'm going to join the company, and that was their convention in April, the stockholders meeting, right? And Elizabeth, you weren't there, but when I was there, I remember there were 37 people in the room. And I just noticed in the chat box, one of the persons that I sat next to all day, Jeff Rose, got to say hi to my buddy Jeff. And if Jeff remembers that day, when I got up and told my story of how I got there, Jeff, he looks at me and I said, and I stood up at the end and I said, look at everybody next to you. Remember this moment, because there were only 37 people, Elizabeth, in the room. I said, this company is never, ever going to be this small again. Well, I'm looking at all of you all. This room will never be this small again. Wait till next year. This is crazy. Thank you, Jeff, for making me feel good sitting next to you, man. I appreciate
We
you.
love Jeff Rose. Jeff Rose is so awesome. But it's been a lot of fun. And what's great about this company is, and one of the things Glenn said to me early on, he wanted to create a company that was so agent focused and so agent centric and built people's businesses at a very high level. And for me, I was so laser focused on my real estate business. I wasn't realizing, I mean, I really came for the stock. I was excited about the stock opportunities. I didn't understand the revenue like I do now, but I really focused on building my business. And that's a testimony too, y'all. When people are trying to build their business and they're on the hamster wheel and they, you know, I was burned out and it wasn't fun. Gene says we're making real estate fun again. I mean, 5.5 years into the company and we have fun every single day. And my business has tripled from where I was when I was burned out at Keller Williams. And I had to realize something's changed. What has changed? And it's our community, it's our collaboration, it's our core values, it's our leadership, it's the training and how we all build each other up because we're all agent owners. And my goal every year was to hit icon. And so whatever you want to do in your business, whether it's to do icon or to do revenue share or to generate wealth from stock or do all of them, this is the platform to do it in. And so my business has changed amazingly. I'm still in production. Gene, you know, I'm going to be like Gene one of these days, but I'm still in production and I'm having the best year I've ever had. And I just hit my 6th icon. So it's also a testimony when you're talking to other people, connect with all of us and let us tell our story, or if people are wondering how they can change their business or how they can change their lives. You don't have to be the answer. Lean on everybody else that you're surrounded by and let us all help the company grow.
That was beautiful. And by the way, Elizabeth did this with 4 beautiful children. You know, that's all, just raising 4 beautiful kids. And hey, I want some questions from you guys, baby. We're excited. I want anything you want to stump us with or anything that we can help you with. Man, I see leverage off each other. What that means is this. By the way, this morning I've already had 2 Zoom calls with top agents. They use me as a third-party person, Elizabeth. I know they use you as well. Don't try to close them yourself. Use a third-party Zoom or third-party conversation. Doesn't have to be a Zoom. It could be a conversation. Could be even in the cloud if you want. But the bottom line is, let someone else explain the model a little bit different than you with them, because it just works. I'm telling you, third-party testimonials and third-party, I close so many people for other people, but I don't do the hard work, Elizabeth, right? You guys do all the work in the beginning. I'm just there at the end for them to ask questions. Wow, man, let's see what we got here. I'm trying to read this.
Yeah, me too. It's going really quick.
You
We've got
pick
lots
one
of
up.
good
You
questions.
pick one up. I can't read that quick.
Well, I love this question, Gene, because we hear this a lot. And if you guys know Gene's background, he's an ex-bean counter, he'll tell you. But somebody asked, which I know what my answer is, but I'd love to hear from you. If EXP is paying out all of this rev share, how is the company profitable? What do you respond best to that question?
You know, I do it two different ways. One way, as I said, isn't it funny how Netflix makes money just charging $8 or $9 a month? They go, what do you mean? I said, well, Blockbuster had all the bricks and mortar, had all the tapes, and you had to go in and get them. I said, Netflix changed that industry basically by using the cloud or the internet. The other way I do it, when they say, how are you making money? I said, well, my gosh, look at our quarterlies. You go, Elizabeth, you know I'm on the board. I said, please look at our quarterlies. We've been profitable, gap positive 4 straight quarters. And then I said, I don't want to get into the detail, but I said, which company do you work with? Pick one, Elizabeth.
You cut out. What did you just have?
Pick a company.
Real estate company?
You work with. Yeah.
Keller Williams.
Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go ask Gary Keller from Keller Williams if he had 38,000 agents that had no expenses for rent, no expenses for team leaders, regional directors, owners, copiers, faxes, furniture. If he had none of those expenses to running any office and he had 38,000 agents, do you think he would say he's making money? Okay. What do you think they say? Oops. You there, Elizabeth?
I'm here.
Okay, good. I hope people can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm trying to mute out so there's not an echo.
So what I try to do, guys, is I relate it to whatever company they're with. Does that make sense? So if they're from Coldwell Banker, I know the owner of that Coldwell Banker. If it's from Remax, I know that Dave Lineker runs Remax. And I just say, well, just go back and ask them if they had 38,000 agents with none of these expenses. I mean, Glenn Sanford, what a genius. Jason Gessing, what an implementer. The bottom line is they knew if they ever got to 38,000 agents, there would be so much income left over, even giving 50% of it back to in our revenue share pool. Real simple.
Real simple.
What do we got?
We've got so many good questions in here, Gene, and I'm trying to keep up with them. Here's a question that somebody asked. Where did it go? Oh, I love this question. Sometimes, Ronnie asked this, sometimes agents feel loyalty to the person that brought them into their small boutique. What are some good responses to speak to the sense of loyalty? I get that question a lot, and I absolutely can relate to that because I am loyal to a fault. I mean, I was at KW for 10 years. I never thought I was going to leave. I'm super loyal to people and my people around me. But what I've realized is they're either being loyal to their broker or they're being loyal to themselves. Like, you're either building up your broker or you're building up your own business. You can't do both. So you can still have that relationship with your broker, but if they can't offer you all of the things that our company can with all the tools and the training and the passive income opportunities, then you're really saying that your broker is more important than your family. That's what I think, and that's what I say. Gina, what about you?
Great answer. That's a great answer. I mean, guys, here, I'm going to give you guys, get out your pin with your avatar. I love this. I see you all reaching for pins. This is the best script I know when you call agents. Elizabeth, you've heard me say it before. This is the best script on calling agents. Hello. You guys can take it from there. It's the hardest thing is just to pick up and call people. I'm just telling you guys, I've challenged a lot of my people to just call 5 people a day. Make it simple. Text 5 people a day, right, Elizabeth? Just text 5 people. How long does that take you? Come on, guys. And then you go, well, what do I say? And I said, well, the problem is you're not even saying hello. You guys are salespeople. You know how to do listings and with buyers and land and commercial, and you guys are really good salespeople. The problem is you're not taking the action needed to attract agents. Anyway, I saw a lot about that. Little laughers. I'm glad you guys are thinking that way.
Well, and I always talk about being authentic and being genuine. I believe when you're building your business, and Jean, again, you were a recruiter for KW, one of the top in the nation for many, many, many years. You built the Dallas one. I mean, you've got so much experience, and I learn from you every single day. And, you know, I'm in my business, and if I'm building my business and I'm being a good person in the community, people are going to be attracted to that. They're going to authentically reach out or get into relationship. I'm all about relationships. And I know that there's all sorts of ways to attract, and Brant will do, you know, the webinars, and I think, Jean, you might do three-way calls and things like that. For me, and Jean's told me for years, this isn't always the best use of my time, and I don't disagree, but I like to be one-on-one, and I like to just really talk to them and understand, right? Jean always says, tell me about yourself, and then he says, shut up. They don't care about you, right? They care, figure out what's important to them. Let them tell you, because if you start talking about revenue share and they're really interested in KV Core, you're going to lose them. Figure out what's important to them and how you can help them. I was in a mastermind last week, and they talked about find that rock in their shoe. Find the thing that's just bugging them a little bit, and how we can offer a solution and what our tools can do to benefit them and help them with their goals, right? If they want to be more productive, if they want to sell 1 house a year, if they want to sell 40 houses a year, figure out the ways that we can help them as a company. It's not me helping them. It's not Jean helping them. They have to join. They need to plug in. They need to show up and utilize all the resources and all the amazing talent that we have. And there's no way they can't succeed.
That's perfect. Hey, I've got a couple questions here. It's going so fast, I'm trying to write them down. I'm going to go really quick because you guys are really quick on your questions. They said, how did you recruit it when I was at Keller Williams for 21 years? How did you recruit there? Exactly the same I'm doing it here. When I say that, exactly the same by saying, tell me about yourself, be quiet, and it's all up to that person I'm talking to how I develop my approach. Let me see. Gosh, there was another one real quick. I can't read my own handwriting. Isn't that cool?
Gina, what about, we get this question a lot. How do you respond to the pyramid scheme comment?
Oh, I just tell them it's not. It's just so simple. No, seriously, Elizabeth, let's say you go on a listing presentation, right? And they say, hey, the person before you said they're going to cut the commission to 4%. What do you say?
No.
No. I mean, Elizabeth's a great listener. In other words, it's so funny when they say, well, you guys are a pyramid scheme. I said, no, we're not. That's crazy. Okay. And I go on. I don't even address it. I just think it's funny because people, I just go on. I go, no, we're not. That's crazy. Okay.
Well, I also let them know we're a publicly traded company on NASDAQ.
Yep.
Pyramid schemes are illegal, and we have, record-breaking earnings every single quarter and have so many eyes on us, not only from a financial standpoint, but also our competitors. If we were doing anything illegal, we would not be in business. So I let them know that as well. But I like your answer, just short and sweet. No, we're not.
No, we're not. Just go on. Kind of a crazy question.
People join people, y'all. I mean, if I respond to people the way I treat people the way I want to be treated. If somebody cold calls me, that's just not my thing. If you have really great scripts to talk to people and get into conversation, that's awesome. But people join people. Find your people. Talk to the people. I think Rob Flick is the one who said this. Maybe it was you, Jean. But just go find the people that you are in relationships with and ask them, hey, we're growing. What great agents do you know? I would love to meet some great agents. Having a warm introduction is so much better than trying to just call somebody out of the blue and they have no idea who you are. I think it was harder at the very beginning for us, Jean. Don't you agree that nobody had any idea who EXP was, right? And so we really built this. We were in Jean's house all the time, having happy hours or get-togethers or Thanksgiving luncheons and saying, hey guys, we're gonna do something great. But it was because we were all in relationship. We all had a respect for each other, and we're like, okay, this is awesome. And your friends are gonna tell friends. Find the people that are already your cheerleaders and say, look, I'm really excited. And again, go back to being authentic and show your enthusiasm and your energy and just say, we're doing something really great. I would love to talk to anybody that you could put me in touch with. And then you start building out that direction and start relying on other people to help tell the story.
That's perfect. I remember the question they were asking is, when do you call somebody back that kind of says no to you or ditches you the first time? Guys, I've kept people on my list for years, right? Everybody thinks people will join us when they're ready to join. I just keep them on my list. And I just judge it by feel. I will tell you that sometimes I don't contact people for 6 months, and then I'll text them a little something. It's all gut feel for me, but I never get up. If you guys remember my Big Papa speech from about 1.5 years ago, write it down, Papa. There's 4 qualities you need to be a good attractor. The first P is persistence. That's it got me, Elizabeth, when I saw that question. Was like, well, when did I quit calling Trey Williams? Well, he came 3 years later. Lou Ronayne 2 years later. So I just keep their names on my list. I'm just being persistent. The second one on Papa is action. You have to take action, guys. I mean, Sheila and Brent were great before us saying, hey, you got to call us. Just make it a goal of yourselves. List 2 homes a month. Sell 2 buyers a month, and then track 2 agents a month. It's that simple. Just call 2 agents. That's all you have to do. And then the third P, the second P is patience. And Elizabeth, you know this, man, we work on people. They're not coming. They're our best friends. Guys, I have best friends in this business. I've been here 5.5 years that are still not with EXP. Do you know how much that means? I wish they were here. I have to have patience. It's very hard for us high crazy people, right? Why aren't they joining now? Well, guess what? All up to them. And then the last A under Papa is ask for help. Guys, we're here. We are here. Elizabeth and I are here for you. Text me. Get to me on Workplace. I've already had 3 people this week text me on Workplace saying, Gene, can I get with you? Can you answer? Yes. Yes. It's amazing when you ask for help. What would you say, Liz? I've never heard you turn down anybody when somebody asks you for help.
No, not at all. I love helping people. I mean, we've actually created a huddle every Wednesday for anybody in the company that can just come in and ask questions. But no, get me on Workplace, and I'm always, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're a family. I know it's cliche, but we're helping each other grow and helping our businesses. So no, we're paying it forward, and we're helping in any way we can.
The problem is we haven't taught our kids and their kids how to ask for help, because we've got the internet, we've got Google. We don't have to ask anybody. We can just pull it up, right? I think we're creating a generation that has forgotten how to ask for help. So come on, baby, more questions.
You know what I love about your Papa speech, Gene? So you talk about the persistence. I teach an icon class once a month, marketing to your sphere, because you know me, I built my business on that. But one of the things that I talk about is a NAR statistic, that 83% of agents do not stay in touch with their clients or their past clients. It's the same thing here, right? Yes. You talk about being persistent. If 83% of people are not staying in touch with somebody, that means on the attraction side, it's the same thing. So be that person that gets into relationship and is adding value. Invite them to classes. I have so many people that I respect that I would love them to be at the company that aren't here yet, I say, but I invited so many of them to our EXPCON because look at all this valuable information and amazing day yesterday and everything we have the rest of the week. Invite them to classes, invite them to trainings. That doesn't mean they have to join the company, but if you start showing them the value and showing really why we're different and our values of the company, the 9 values of the company, they'll understand that we're completely different from anything they thought we were or that they've experienced in the past.
Well, I just had a question in there. How do you get new agents? You guys are looking at them. Elizabeth Riley was the #1 recruiter for Keller Williams in my old office because she and I both, she did it more than I did, went to the schools. If you're in a state where you can go to the schools at lunch and bring something, you recruited so many new agents, Elizabeth. So if you're in a state where you're allowed to go to the schools, I would bring lunch. I would do that. New agents are great. A lot of people do it online now, so get to know those online schools and try to get the list from those people?
Okay,
That's a great question.
somebody asked about flat fees, where they're paying like $4,000 a year. Gina, I'd love to hear your take on that. One thing I ask them is, well, you get what you pay for. And I ask them, you know, do they have training? Usually it's no. Do they have support? No. And then I show them, well, this is what I'm getting for every transaction. I'm getting stock. When I cap, I get stock. You know, I'm telling them the stock benefits that we have, 6 ways to get stock in the company. And then if they're interested and they are building their business, rev share opportunities, and then all the training, and I send them the calendars and things like that. Usually if they're at a flat fee, they're kind of floundering and they're not really getting anywhere, and they're not able to grow their business because they don't know how.
Yeah, I would just add this. When I say add, you said it better than, guys, I've been in real estate 36 years. I always say it this: there's always cheaper companies, and use the word cheap. So I don't try to talk them out of it. They said, hey, I'm only paying $4,000 to this company. And I said, well, I said, you're paying $4,000? And they go, yeah. And I said, I can find you a cheaper company. And they go, what? I said, well, there's cheaper than $4,000. And they go, what do you mean? I said, well, there's always cheaper company. So that's how I work it. Quite honestly, guys, it's all about them. If they want to increase their production, like Elizabeth says, you got to go on the production side, right? Because you know, I just interviewed an agent this morning that said they went to a really cheap place and had to leave after 2 years because they weren't getting value. With the absence of value, price is a consideration. Write that down. With the absence of value, price is a consideration. We've got to give really super value for people to join us.
Rick, hi Rick in Utah. How are you? He's asking, what do we say when somebody says, I need an office? Especially with pandemic. I mean, nobody was going into the office, and y'all, we completely turned heads when we were just operating business as usual. And now that the world is pretty much going virtual, I just ask them why they need an office. I never even went into the office unless I had to go teach a class or had to pick up a commission check. But now commission checks are just sent to our house, and I teach in the world, right? So I ask them why they feel like they need an office. A lot of times they'll say, well, you know, for clients, we have Regis offices, which we can use. If you don't have Regis's close by, I usually meet somewhere that's convenient for my client. And I've never had any objections with that. Jean, you might have, but I haven't had any problems with not having an office.
Yeah, the other thing is, I'll give you two ways to handle it if they really want an office, which some people do, guys. They can't work out of their home. They don't, you know. I said, why don't we find a place close to your office? Now that we have COVID, there's a lot of vacant space, right? And we'll find a doctor, a lawyer, a mortgage company. I've actually found office space for agents, Elizabeth, through the years. I said, why don't we find a place like that? And they go, really? Yeah, let's just find a place close so you can put your assistant, right? It's usually for the assistant. It's usually not for the agent. And let's find a place like that. So I go that way. And then the other thing, I had this one last week. I kind of laughed because you guys will get this. Well, I like going in. In fact, he even said this to me. It's funny, Elizabeth. He goes, I'm in my office. I forget which company he was with. He goes, and I can go out my door and walk down the hallway and see my broker. And guess what I told him? Why does it take that long? He goes, what do you mean?
That's an awesome response.
I said, with our company, you don't have to get up, open the door, walk down the hallway and see your broker. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, put up your laptop right now. I'll show you how to get in and see your broker instantly. And he started to laugh. And I said, dude, you're taking way too long to see your broker.
Okay, that is awesome. I'm writing that down, Gina, because I mean, in Texas, we're spoiled. We have the most amazing broker team ever. But I mean, we can get them on Workplace. I can get it in the world. I get answers so quick that, you know, our broker teams are pretty amazing across the country. So that's funny.
I just laugh because they go, you guys don't have an office. And I go, well, that's funny. I'm in here with 800 people in an auditorium right now. This looks like an office to me.
That's so
there
fun.
You go.
What other questions? We're seeing a ton of them come through. You guys are amazing. I just want to make sure we can answer them.
I am so slow at reading. But you know, the only thing I can read is the guy with the crying, you know, the crying yellow face. By the way, I have a mask with that on it. That's my mask for COVID. I bought it at the airport.
That's funny. I'm seeing a lot of questions. What tools, resources are we using? Are we using CRMs? I mean, if you guys know Gene, he kills about 100 trees or more a year because everything he does is a Sharpie and his paper, and I love it. I still have a lot of his papers from years and years ago. In fact, I found some cleaning out my office and I sent them to him even in KW days. But Gene just writes everything down and he's talking about things. He has a notebook. Gene, I don't know if this has changed, but do you still have your notebook with just the names of everybody in there, or did you go digital?
Yeah, guys, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah. Just write your names down. Now, if you're, I understand a lot of people go, I'm going to put everything on my laptop or my notebook, but keep your names available to you all the time. I just have notebooks because to me it's easy, and I just take them with me. By the way, Brent Gove, when I first met him in 2016, I went to meet him in Sacramento. Guess what he had? A notebook with names written down, Elizabeth. And he goes, Gene, this is how I keep track of them. I showed him my notebook. I said, dude, how hard is this? Just write the names down. By the way, writing names down, this is very important. If you guys do any psychological work, it helps to write them in your own handwriting. It really does. Because it gives, you know, I'd write down Elizabeth Riley. Oh, she didn't come this month, doggone. And then I'd make another list next month. I'd have to write Elizabeth Riley down again. And I go, man, maybe I should just text her right now and say, you know, we just had our third quarter earnings come. I think I'll send her those. Makes me think of them.
Well, and it's just kind of like business. What everybody asks, what's the best CRM? Well, the best CRM is the one you use. So figure out what makes sense for you. Gene uses a notebook. I have a whiteboard. I'm not fancy at all either. I have, you know, an Excel spreadsheet, but I'm always thinking about them and I'm writing them down because Gene has taught me this over the years, because you do think about them, and I'm building those relationships and I'm checking with them all the time. But whatever you're comfortable using, I mean, there's some people in our company that have some very sophisticated systems. I'm not a systems person, right? And even if you set me all up, I probably wouldn't follow that. So just use what you're comfortable doing and use what you'll stay focused on moving forward.
Somebody just wrote down, Elizabeth, funny, whose name goes in the books? Well, anybody you want. You know, guys, it's not hard. There's two ways you could kill it in the next 2 weeks. Number one, go back through all the names of the people you've done business with. Doesn't matter if you've been in the business a year, 2 years, 10 years. Go back in your files. Write down the names of people you've done business with. Contact them. Number two, go to your vendors. Like Elizabeth said earlier, I've taught this forever. Go to your vendors and say, hey, guys, who do you know that's up and coming? Who's the superstars that I've never even heard of? They will give you the names. And then I text those people and I say, you know what, Elizabeth, I just talked to Rick over there at ABC Mortgage, and he said, you are a rock star that I should get to know. So anyway, we could go to, you know, go get some coffee someday. I would love to chat about real estate with you. So guys, I could go into any of your towns where you're at and start attracting agents. I don't have to have a deep relationship. I just have to have a relationship through a vendor, or a relationship with an old transaction, or even a transaction that did not work. Where I go.
It's just having those conversations, like Gene said, hello.
Hello.
You know, I saw somebody say, well, what if you want to talk to an experienced agent and you're not to that level? When I got in the business in Atlanta, we had some teams in our market that I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to be like you when I grow up. And I would just knock on the door and say, hey, can I pick your brain? Right? So that's a great way to get into conversations again. Hey, I know that you're a great producer in our market. I see what you're doing. I would love to see how your business is going. I'm building my business up. I've had a lot of great success, but I want to get to your level. I would love to share business ideas. I mean, just again, have a conversation and be authentic about it. And I never talk about EXP initially when I'm going into those conversations, because I truly want to learn about their business. Everybody isn't a fit for our company, and we're not a fit for everybody else, right? So I want to get to know those people too. And it always comes up, okay, so tell me what your brokerage is doing. Oh, this is what my brokerage is doing. And you can just plant that seed of curiosity, because curiosity makes them go explore a whole lot more in the background, so that when you're reaching out and you have those conversations, now they're thinking of more questions that might be relevant.
Here, I'm going to give you guys a game plan for a transaction. This is what, Elizabeth, remember we used to do this at our old company too. A lot of people say, well, how do I talk to them during a transaction? Here's my script. If they ask you about EXP during the transaction, say, I'd love to talk to you. Why don't we talk after we close? This is agent to agent, right? So after you close, here's what I want you to do. Day after closing, I want you to text them, because nobody answers their phone anymore. I want you to text them, Elizabeth, this is what I do. Elizabeth, it was a pleasure doing business with you. I have a small gift of appreciation. Could we meet next Tuesday? I'd love to give you a small gift of appreciation. Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Do you have 15 minutes? 100% of the time they will show up, because you're going to give them a gift. And everybody goes, what gift should I give them? I don't care. Pick one out. If you meet them at a Starbucks, you could give them another Starbucks gift card. I don't care. The bottom line is everybody shows up for gifts. Now, when they come to the meeting, Elizabeth, when they come to the meeting, what did I teach you? Don't talk about EXP.
Right.
You're just talking about, you really are thanking them. Elizabeth said it 10 times today. Be authentic. Elizabeth, it was great. In fact, I never got to meet you. How many transactions do you guys do and never get to meet the other agent? So I want you guys to just meet agents, and you meet them. And they go, well, tell me about EXP. And you go, oh my gosh, that's not why I'm here today. I was just here to just thank you. Well, can we set up another meeting to talk about EXP? Sure. I mean, I'm telling you guys, until they ask about it, I don't talk about it. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your business. All about them. And this works. I've turned people that have never attracted anybody, Elizabeth, ever into attractors, because they go, well, I never had a game plan. There's your game plan for after the transaction. There you go. And then they go, what after that? Well, set up another meeting. Call them next month. Say, I'd love it. Boy, it was a pleasure getting to know you. Let's go talk real estate again. Eventually, what are they going to do, Elizabeth? After the second or third meeting, what are they going to say? How do you like it at EXP?
They're curious, and they're seeing everything that's going on in the media as well. And it's funny, Gene, because you talk about giving them a book or a gift. A lot of times I'll give a book. You know which book I give?
Go ahead.
Yours. Well, I'll either give yours, which is 101 Ways to Lead Generate.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah. I mean, again, it depends on where they are in their business, right? Or I'll give Julie Nelson's out of Boston, and she's got Success Faster. So I have a bunch of those books that I follow up with people, or I'll send them a thank you. Or if they've been, Renee Funk and I have Leadership from the Heart podcast, I'll follow up saying, hey, thank you so much for your time. And I'll send those books, and people will get their curiosity. But just saying thank you, you're right. We don't have to talk about EXP. And everybody wants to know what we're doing. They think they know what we're doing, but they really don't, or they'd be here.
Are we on time? I heard somebody say time. Are we going?
I think we have a couple of minutes. I think we have.
Okay, what are the bucks you give as gifts? I mean, I'd give the tipping point. I'd give Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant. I'd give anything that's different than they probably usually get. I love books. It just causes,
I've given out. You are a badass.
Where can we get
too.
Jude's book, 101 Ways to Lead Generate, on Amazon? Guys, I'm not pushing that, but if you want to use it, fine. I taught it the other day. It's just lead generation in real estate. That's all I care about as realtors. Are you meeting people during COVID? Yes. I got news for you. Susan and I came back to Puerto Rico. We live in Puerto Rico. We've been gone for a while. I hate to tell you, we've missed our peeps. We've missed our people. We threw a very small party. Everybody showed up. It was crazy. People want to be around people right now.
People are missing people. Well, and this is a great opportunity to just check in with people too. We talk about the scripts, and Jean, you said hello. Call people and just say, hey, I'm just checking in. How are you? Have those conversations and those dialogues. Again, 83% of people aren't staying in touch with their clients. people are being recruited, but a lot of those people, I mean, I get recruited all the time. Jane, you might. I don't know if you do or not anymore, but I get recruited all the time. I guarantee you none of them have followed up. And just people want to feel important and they want to see what's different and how they can build their business. And we're doing some really cool things that are different, and our collaboration is off the charts. And like I said, invite them, let them experience what we're doing. And before long, I mean, it might be now, a month, it took Gene and I 5 months, or it could take 2 years. But just stay in conversation with them. And I mean, like what I'm telling people now is because I get objections about, well, I missed it. Gene, one of our, I'll tell you, you know who it is, but one of our good friends that was supposed to come over with us early, he told me not too long ago, he goes, well, I missed it. I missed the opportunity. And I tell everybody every single day, oh my gosh, we're just getting started, right? So it's still a huge opportunity for people to join us, no matter what your goals are. We're going global. If you guys saw Duncan's conversation yesterday, it's completely changed my thought on how I'm going to approach these relationships and conversations, but we're just getting started. And so I know that Gene would say the same thing. If there's anything we can help do and help you be successful, we'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't know. What do we have? 38,000 agents and we're going to 1 million? Okay, that's okay. I think we're kind of shy of that.
We're close, but not quite there yet.
We're kind of shy.
What other questions? Anything else y'all have? Because I know that Mitch and Rich are coming. Oh, Mitch and Rich, that's kind of cute. They're coming up next.
Mitch and Rich, come on up. Let's bring them on up.
I can't wait to hear them. Thank you guys for being here today. Gene, love seeing you. Love sharing the stage with you. Miss you.
Same here. Big hug, Elizabeth. Say hi to Wes and the kids.
Will do. Have a great conference. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, Mitch, I love your hair. I just walked by. I was like, who is that?
Thank you.
It was for my rock show last night.
Thank you so much, guys.
I had to look good. I wanted my 70s do back. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Well, you Rich, you there?
Yeah, hey, Mitch. I look like I'm your father in this avatar.
Let me see. Hey, Dad. What's up, man? Yeah. So Rich and I talked for about 4 seconds to prepare for this because we're very organized, and we got a lot of really good information. And what we figured we'd do is Rich is going to talk for a little bit on how to pitch EXP, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about certain words that I use because words matter, and also how to talk to brokers, as being a big broker that came over when I came over almost 3.5 years ago. So Rich, why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Yeah, listen, I'm glad they made us follow Brent Gove and Gene Frederick and Elizabeth and all awesome, these five folks, right? This is like excellent for us. So we're going to try to make this interesting. What I don't want to do is get into too deep of a dive, because I think where most of us are finding success with revenue share is by what our first experience is when we're trying it out. So when I learned about EXP back in 2017, I was looking at this thing and I was totally confused. It was just like, it was too much to unpack. I was drinking out of a fire hydrant instead of a garden hose. So I created sort of an analogy that works well for my team to try to explain this in conversational style. I'm kind of like Gene. I'm a notebook, a yellow pad and a marker type person. And I draw up a 3-lane highway. Lane 1 is selling real estate just like we've always done, the reason why we're here talking. And we're at an 80-20 commission split. We have a $16,000 cap. We're one of the only companies I've ever heard of that you can earn that $16,000 cap by a milestone called Icon. We're 100% firm because we're not a franchise. So we never have any middlemen or other hands in the pockets. We have healthcare here discounted through a savings account that was 60% of what I was paying at Blue Cross Blue Shield. I enrolled in it. We have KV Core, which is lead generation and a CRM. We have the EXP world with 600 people sitting there waiting to answer your questions and provide support, 100 hours of education, a whole gamut of technology here that I'm happy to show you. We have an iBuyer set up. We have a Marketplace, which is our own Facebook, where you have 38,000 of us collaborating and giving each other referrals. And then we have marketing materials that have already been pre-selected and pre-made by more talented people than us. So you have 5,000 templates to use. This is all what we do in lane 1, which is sell real estate. This is the lane where you take all your chances. This is your speeding lane. This is the lane that we signed up for. This is to go as fast as we can and perform at our top level. Now, what separates EXP from other real estate companies is that we have a super highway. We have a lane 2. This is stock. We are an agent-owned company. We're all shareholders, hence the reason why we're giving each other our referrals and not outsourcing them. We have the ability to share a cap, to work in as many states as we want, all toward the same cap, but we're shareholders. It changes the way that we think. So we get stock on our first deal. We get stock when we cap, and we get stock when we expand our team and help them close their first transaction. We also have the ability to become an icon agent, as mentioned on lane 1, where if we do 20 transactions or a gross commission income of north of $500,000, you get the $16,000 that you paid back and in stock. Very, very cool stuff here. You can outperform the model. And then lastly, we have an equity program where you can get the stock at a 10% discount. When the entire world is watching EXPI shoot from $2.87 3 years ago to $62 a couple weeks ago, most everybody would have said getting a 10% discount on that skyrocketing company would be advantageous. We get it here. So it's a very, very cool program. What I love about lane 2 is whether you're here for revenue share, you're here for selling, we all benefit from lane 2. So no matter what you're doing, trading the trophies and the awards, we're going to get actual shares of stock at this company. And then lane 3 is the modern team, which we call revenue share. And EXP takes 50% of its gross revenue and gives it back to us as agents to expand the company organically. I mean, how cool is that? They take their 50% and pay all the bills. And then they give us 50% for just growing the company. So I came over with a team of 3. I'm not a YouTube sensation. I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a real estate coach. I'm not even the top producer in my town. And now I have 1,121 agents, and we're growing at almost 100 agents a month. So if I can do it, you can do it. And the best way I think to do it is just to come up with a simple. So lane 1, selling real estate. Lane 2, being a shareholder and an entrepreneur for once, which is very, very refreshing. And then lane 3 is this modern team called revenue share. I'm no longer restricted into pulling the highest talent pool that I can within my zip code. I can play anywhere in over 400 markets. I mean, Glenn just bought the IDX through Showcase to where we're going to be in every MLS there is. We have 8 countries that we can add agents. I have 115 estate agents in England that are level 2s for me. How cool is that? Because I knew the right level 1, you know? So we have the ability to just summarize this. This is a super highway. We have lane 1 for us technicians out there that love selling real estate, love being in the world, dealing with clients. We have lane 2, welcome to ownership. You no longer have to rent your career. And then lastly, we have lane 3, which is the expansion team, the new modern team that spans all over the map with no geographical boundary limits. Very cool stuff, you know? So anyway, I think just explaining that is an easier way to kind of encompass what we do as a company since it's so robust. In addition to that, I use a couple other analogies that make it easier. Like, for example, if we had to go check out the view at the Empire State Building, right? You could go walk up the staircase, that's fine. But if they had an escalator, I'm going to walk up the escalator. We're going to burn the same amount of calories, except I'm going to get up there much faster and have a better experience because the platform of EXP is lifting us, you know? So I just think kind of quantifying that is helpful. So just for the audience's purposes of not getting droned out by my tone and my style, I'm going to have Mitch share something, and then I'll hit one more point, and then he'll hit one more point, and we'll open it up to Q&A. By the way, I see some of the questions. I have a YouTube video that explains all of this. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like to. Don't subscribe, I don't care. But the 3-lane highway is wrapped up in about a 1 and 40-second EXP approved video. All yours, Mitch.
Alrighty, good stuff. I love the 3-way highway, lane highway. It's amazing stuff. Okay, so one of the things that I've learned, and I'm going to get into brokerages in a couple of minutes, but was the words that you say. I'm a big words guy, although I could barely speak English sometimes, but because I talk too fast, as you could probably all tell. I tell people it's a Boston thing, but I never use the word revenue share ever, and I never use the word recruit or even attract. I don't like either of them. And the reason being is because of the connotation of the people sit there and they hear revenue share, they immediately think network marketing, right? Or if you say recruit, obviously the first thing they say is, I don't want to recruit. And again, I've never really liked the word attract, although that's what we do, right? So, and this is depending on who I'm talking to. I'm just talking about if I'm talking to a typical agent that wants to sell real estate. So the words I use are really simple. Instead of revenue share, I use referral fees. And instead of recruit, I use introduce. So here's my standard 2-second line. So if you introduce 2 people a year to the company over the next 3 years, and those people all introduce just one, you'll earn up to $36,000 a year in referral fees. Things that they're both used to. I grew my brokerage from 6 agents to 120 agents by agents introducing people to my company. And we paid them referral fees for that. Very simple stuff, right? So I use that all the time. Now, when I'm in my questioning, and Gene touched on this a lot, when I'm talking to somebody, my main goal is to ask questions to get information to help me know what part of EXP works. And I'll give you an example of that. I was talking with a guy that to me was just a regular agent, and yes, Courtney, I do speak fast. I'll repeat it. I was talking to a guy who I thought was a regular agent, but after talking to him for less than 5 minutes, I found out he was an entrepreneur. And when he's an entrepreneur, it goes into a whole different level of conversation. So just to repeat that, this is, by the way, me talking really slowly. I'm trying really hard to talk slow, but it's really bad. So I'll go back to that line I said really quickly. If you introduce 2 people a year to the company over the next 3 years, they introduce 1 each year, that's up to $36,000 a year in referral fees. Sense? So hopefully I was a little bit slower. Thanks, Craig, for posting that. So the other thing that I say, which I really like a lot, is, and I'll use Rich as my example. So Rich, just so you know, the most I'm going to make from you is $2,800 a year. It really doesn't change my life at all, but I will completely change your life. Really simple stuff, but very powerful stuff. So when you say that to someone, they look at you and they really get it. They go, when as a broker, I was trying to make $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 off of them. I needed them. I don't need anybody right now. I'm just really happy to say, look, I could change your life. Your money's not going to make a difference in my life, but I will completely change your life. So very important. I'm going to touch on brokers for a little bit. And I do a lot of calls for brokers, for agents that not necessarily my organization, but anybody's organization. And I'm glad to help anybody. Everybody, all the producers in the company, trackers, have done, have used me to talk to brokers. Because brokers talk a different language. Brokers will never tell you that they're broke. So the reason why I switched to brokerage over in 2017 was I didn't want. I was 55 years old. I know I look a lot younger on stage, but I was 55 years old. And I was looking at my life. My family all dies in their 50s, and when I did that, I said, "What happens if I die today? What happens to my family?" And the reality is, the broker, I never made real money. Made okay money, but I never made real money. A couple $100,000 a year at best, which I made more selling houses. And I said, if I die today, all of my agents scatter to some other place, and my family gets absolutely nothing. And even though I had a chance to sell the company for $3.5 million, and in fact, when I decided not to do that, KW offered me $600,000 cash. When I looked at the EXP model, I said, this is the only thing that I could think of that will give myself and my family something. So if something happens to me today, here I am 3.5 years later, about 900 agents. If I die today, my family's taken care of. With my granddaughter, which some of you guys saw last night on the concert, my singing granddaughter, she's got a rare disease. If something happens to her, I said the same thing, what happens to her? Because we didn't have the cash in the bank to take care of her. Now because of the EXP stock, which has made all of us pretty wealthy, and for and the revenue share, I don't worry about my family anymore. In fact, I do think my hair is actually growing back. So when you're talking to a broker, the most important thing I ask a broker when I talk to them is, what happens if something happens to you? And then I stopped talking. It's a really important question because we all think we're invincible until we start hitting our mid-40s and we start aches and pains. And again, I'll be 60 in January, and I'm like, all right, I've got this. I feel great. I'm in great shape. But literally, I could have a heart attack while I'm on the call with you here, God forbid, and everything's over. So I would say that's the biggest thing. The reality is most brokers will never tell you they're broke. I'll give you 2 quick stories on it, and then I'll turn it back over to Rich. I had met with a brokerage. Gene had asked one of his agents to ask me to go up to New Jersey and talk to a broker. 350 agents. Their net that year, this is last year, their net was $104,000. Now, unfortunately, he could not join because his $100,000 a month in overhead was actually, I think it was $150,000 a month, was fixed. He could not get rid of it for years because of the leases that he signed. Even when I came over, I had a $65,000 a month overhead. But I'm a business guy and a visionary, and I saw that. So here's a guy you would think is the most successful guy in the world, made $104,000. Up in that area, you sell 5 homes, you make $100,000. So another one was I was talking to a broker a couple weeks ago, and I said, how's it going? She goes, great. My brokerage is doing really good. I said, well, how many agents do you have? She goes, 10. I go, so you have 3. She goes, no, I have 10. I go, no, you have 3. Because I know that all brokerages, or most of them, it's about a 30% of the agents that generate any revenue. In fact, in my brokerage, 34% did 92% of the business. So this broker, I said, well, why don't you send me your spreadsheet and I can do an analysis to see if EXP makes sense for you. It may not. It doesn't make sense for every broker. If you're doing really, really well, it really doesn't make sense. So when I do that, I take out all of the her revenue, and as of October 1st, from January to October 1st, from her agents, not from her cell, she had lost $7,500. And when we had our next talk, and I showed that to her, she didn't have a clue. She thought she was making all this money, but all she was supporting all these agents that weren't making any money for her. So when you're talking to a broker, it's really good if somebody in your organization has been a broker, or if you want to reach out to me, God knows anybody can reach out to me about anything. I'm always here to help. This is really important if you talk to a broker about it, that you have the right conversation. Rich, why don't you go ahead and take over the next group?
Yeah, good call, Mitch. Bringing over a brokerage is the way to hit a home run versus singles. So I try to base everything on how to scale out a team here because I had no recruiting experience, and the irony is that I never went to Keller Williams. I think I'm the only one at this company that's never worked at KW. But anyway, I definitely wanted to scale out a real estate team. So I followed a rule called the 21% rule. I brought over 52 agents in 37 months. So I haven't set any records here. I'm probably the slowest horse in that first pack of the breakaway there. But what I decided to do was just make sure that all my agents were successful as they wanted to be, and I went after agents that had high ambition. So I do the rule of 21%. Any organization that if you have 21% of the people that are all in, chips all the way in, okay, they're going down with the ship, I think you're going to succeed. So I need to have 11 of my 52 agents that I have right now that are earning so much revenue share that they can't leave EXP. And I started to build out my level 1s like this. I mean, you can't control who's going to come over in your level 6s and 7s. I think I'm somewhere on Brent and Gene's guideline where it still counts for revenue share, but at such an insignificant level. So we're going to help our groups despite anything. We're here to help all the time. Mitch and I have a weekly call where we connect, and we're not even in the same group just because I'm a Mitch fan. We keep each other accountable. But the actual thing that you can control is the agents that you directly bring over to the company. So the way that I looked at it was, if we can make sure that we can change lives directly and help a smaller group of people succeed, we're going to be exactly where we need to be. And right now, I have 7 agents of the 52 that are making enough revenue share to where you couldn't pull them away with a forklift. I mean, we are all EXPers till the end. And my goal is to convert or find whichever ends up being the case, I prefer to convert because they've already come over here and they want this, 4 more people to earn as much revenue share. So, you know, my top revenue share earners making, you know, about 25,000 a month, and my bottom of that 7 that I brought over is probably at 5,800, 6,000. And what we've noticed is that when you can get your agents and yourself at $5,000 or $6,000 a month, life gets much better. You're not buying Lamborghinis and vacation homes necessarily, but your anxiety level and your screen time on your cell phone go way, way down. So bringing 5 agents to the company and helping those 5 agents bring another agent over is very important, especially if you choose 5 productive agents. So, you know, Gene Frederick's $900,000 example that he does on a cocktail napkin or on a whiteboard is very, very cool because it shows you how easy it is to build an expansion team when you have a talent pool of 1.4 million realtors in the United States versus, you know, socking away $900,000 in 2007, 8, 9, almost impossible, right? So I think, you know, there's 2 different kinds of presenters in the world. There's presenters that present an exception or a dream of what they want their life to be. And there's presenters that show themselves as an example, and they present themselves as an example. So I think if you're going to do revenue share, you have to participate in it and lead by example. So there's a lot of tools and a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of training and a lot of accessibility that we have to many of the people that would be on Mount Rushmore of this company. You just heard from a couple of them. But I think that you have to make this work in your own words at your own comfort level. So some of the ways that I was able to get conversations started is first of all, I never went after an agent who didn't intimidate me. I wanted the best agents. I wanted the best agents in my area, and I wanted agents that would likely say no to me. And so this way, every time we got a yes, you could get butterflies in your stomach and lose sleep over their onboarding, right? That's exactly where I wanted to put myself in that situation. So, and then in addition to that, what I would do is I'd start up a conversation. I'd say, hey, listen, you know, we do similar volume and we're sort of in a different platform. You're, you know, pretty much renting your career for the next 20 years like I did for the last 20. And I'm getting a little bit of equity in something a lot larger. And I think that if we collaborated together and kind of talk shop, we could probably filter through who's working at a company that's more centered to our personal success. So I'd love to hear about yours. Would you like to hear about mine? And you end up finding yourself oftentimes in a duel where they have a knife and you have a gun because we have so much of a better system here. And I think that if you can educate these folks and show them the tools, you can start building some dialogue. I'm certainly not going to reinvent the wheel. I have other trainings that I've done on how to do this with algorithms and acronyms and all the other stuff, but just activating yourself. The magic sauce of revenue share isn't that you come into this set to set the world on fire. I think when Jay Kinder came over was about the same month I came over, and I think his expectations of what he was going to do at EXP was far greater than what I was going to do. And I think EXP's leadership expectation of Jay was far greater than what I could do. So that really didn't bother me because I didn't expect to start off that way. What I did expect to do was succeed at a level that would impact my entire family's generational wealth. So I just kind of went at it one at a time. And I started to have conversations. The magic sauce is doing something every day. And one advantage I can give you that these other agents that are so much better at this than Mitch and I are, as we're students in the game, is that the better they do at revenue share, the less incentive there is to grind out daily. So for all of you guys in the foxhole right now, like myself, that are taking the 3-point shots every day, we have an advantage. We're still hungry to build and hopefully land where they did. And I think that is a huge advantage. So if you just expose yourself to a little bit of pain tolerance and contact a few people, I would say I tell all my agents 1 person per day. I mean, that's pretty easy. At the end of the year, you're going to have 300 contacts. A broken clock is right twice a day. Trust me, I've been a perfect example of that. and you're going to land into unlocking 5 to 7 of the levels if you just do a year under that kind of basic boot camp. So I'm going to turn it back over to Mitch, and I think that we're probably got about 10 or 15 minutes of Q&A time, which I think is probably more important because we can speak to what you want to know versus what we're explaining up here.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I just got one more thing I want to talk about real quick. Especially for those of you that sell a lot of homes or don't sell a lot of homes and want to sell more. One of the things about making extra money, and I don't care if it's $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month in rev share, when you do that, you sell more homes. So for my agents that have done well in this, they actually have done, they're selling more homes now because they're not worried about it. They're not thinking about how am I going to pay the car payment, how am I going to feed my kids, and all that stuff. So when you work at this, it's really important to understand the value of it and what it gives you, because it really gives you more stuff. And to touch on one thing that Rich said, it's really, when I first came on, I brought on a lot of people. I brought on 70 people so far. Now, I originally came over with 22. 18. My other 18 agents went under. No, I'm sorry. I came over with 18, and the other 22 came under my general manager. And so I've added, another, what is that, 52 people since then. However, I've only got 43 active right now. So that means I've lost almost 30 people. And the reason why is because I didn't spend the time talking to people I should be talking to. I spent the time with the ones that I thought would be easier. And this is going to what Rich's point about talking to the hardest people. So I brought on agents that were new. I brought on agents that were barely making it. And what happens? Well, we know that 86% of new agents don't make it in this business. So a lot of them go away, right? A lot of them leave. Most of them, I would say probably 80%, I don't check every day because I have better things to do, but I would venture 80%, if not more, have already have left the business already. Actually, I know that's true. It's probably more than that. So when you're talking to people, you want to bring on people that will get here and stay here and be productive and be part of what we do and buy into the systems. And, it's very important that when people come in, they, look at you guys. We have 622 people sitting here in this class. How cool is that? I think we had almost 600 people last night when we were playing. We get people involved. So when you do introduce somebody to the company, number one thing I've heard from agents, because I've brought on agents that have left the company that have now come back. It's one of my favorite sources of people to talk to. And the number one reason they left was they said their sponsor brought them over and then deserted them. And when you desert people, they feel left alone. When they feel left alone, they leave. So it's important if you're going to introduce your company. I'm not telling you to do EXP's job for them, but you really want to do enough to help them get over. Every person that we bring over in my group here locally, I sit down with them for an hour and we have a business planning event or conversation. Pat sits down with them and goes through all the admin stuff. So when they're onboarded, they know they have people to go to. So it's really important. So I think with that, Rich, want to open up for questions. Any questions for anybody?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
All right. Recently joined EXP.
Mitch, who's your sponsor?
Okay, that's a really good question. So my sponsor is Howard Fritz. I don't know if Howard's in here. And it's a great example of how that could change your life. So, and I don't mean this in an egotistical way, and I hope you don't take it that way, but Howard has five FQLAs under him, 10 total. Then he has me, which has 870 or so. So Howard's about to hit 900 agents, right? And what a difference that is in Howard's life now. And I'm not going to tell you his revenue share. If you want to know that, ask him that. But when I met him, he was making about $300 a month. And he makes a lot more than that now. And so you can bring on one person. And I'll give you another example in my story. Pete Middleton's one of my guys. Pete is 550 of my 860 or 870. Right? I mean, you bring on the right person. How cool is that? That's what happens. That's how life-changing things. Pete has literally changed my family's life. And
Wow.
part of the reason that is Pete's why. This is really cool. I love this about Pete because we're very good friends. He said his why is making sure that I got to 1,000 people to make sure that Lola, my granddaughter, was taken care of. I mean, how awesome is that? And I mean, now I'm with friends that I love. I mean, I love Pete. I love all my business partners. I'm friends with all these people that I've known for years. Jeff and Renee Funk, and they're my best friends. We love each other. Now we're in business together. So bring on the right people.
Good call, Mitch, on that. You know, one thing I love about the way that Mitch does things is that he has a personal relationship with everybody that he's doing business with. And I think that's where the credibility and respect comes through. All right, so let me answer a couple of these here that are coming in as we go. How do you attract agents that are on vacation? Oh, that's the easiest one, I think. So what you do is you tell them, hey, tell me if your vacation looked like mine. You decided to go away because you were burnt out. You talked to whoever you're going away with and you got excited. You made the trip. You went on Expedia. You didn't go see a travel agent, right? Of course not. And then you got your stuff packed, and right when you were packing your bags, your phone blew up and you got as busy as you ever did in your entire life, and you spent the entire time on vacation stressed out on your iPhone with whoever you attended the vacation with rolling their eyes, right? Well, that's what your vacation looks like. My vacation doesn't look like that. When you get back, I'll show you how to have a vacation that I have, which is 600 people in the world helping support my business, residual income so I can exercise the word no occasionally in this business. I know we're not good at saying no as a group. So I think you could play with that quite a bit. Do you look for experienced agents? My answer on that is yes. I don't turn down new agents, but I will stack them under other people if I don't think they're coachable. So they have to show me something, and then I will give you my time. And as far as going out on the hunt for agents, yes, I want agents that are doing business, because now we only have one obstacle to overcome, which is do your business on this platform versus let me teach you how to do the business and then you do your business on this platform. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people disagree on that, but
right.
I'm on
I
stage.
agree with you 100%. You know, again, we're looking for people that, you know, and by the way, this is a Rob Flick line. We're looking for people that are looking for us, and those are the people that stay here forever. They're looking for something better for their families, and I find that people, the time I want to put in energy I want to put into somebody is someone that wants more. And I built my entire brokerage on new agents, and I probably went through 500 agents to get 50 good ones. Hence why when I started with EXP, I kept that same model going, and it took me 70 to get to 43 that are active, but only 24 FQLAs. But 30% of it are, just like I said earlier, 30% of my agents are producers. How do you talk to an agent that says 3 times more than you do? Have you ever listed a house that's have you ever listed a house that's more than you usually do? It's the same way. I mean, everybody puts their pants on the same way. I don't get intimidated by anybody, whether they're, whether they're anything. But the key, and I'll talk about this real quick, you got to follow the system. And I'm sure Brent talked about it. I'm sure Gene talked about it. Send them the video. If you're new with us, it's even easier. Hey, I know this probably isn't for you, but I really respect you. You're one of the most successful realtors around, and I really would love your opinion. If you wouldn't mind helping me out and give me an opinion, give me poke some holes in this for me, and let me what you don't like. Things like that are how you talk to anybody that's bigger than you. Compliment people. You are an amazing realtor. I'm just blown away by how good you are, and I'd really love your opinion on this what I did, and I joined this company. I just love your opinion because I want to make sure I made the right move. Right. Lean on your upline, as I think Renee said in there. People like myself, my entire job is to help you. That's what I do all day long. I help my agents, and I help anybody, as again, many of you out there probably know. So lean on us, but always, the video, and then I'd love to answer those questions, but I don't really know all the answers. Let me introduce you to Mitch. Mitch is the top guys in the company, and he can really, bring it home for you so you understand everything. And then people like myself, people like Rich, people like Gene, all these guys, they all know how to ask the right questions to bring those people over.
Absolutely. So one of the questions was, how do you bring over brokerages? I mean, so just think about this for a second. When COVID happened in March, I didn't have to go sign up for the payroll protection plan. I have no payroll. I have no brick and mortar. I have no liability as a broker in charge. I can scale and grow my team anywhere in 8 countries. I don't have to answer all the questions. I don't have to provide all of the support. Nothing's exclusively on me. I have the ability to have tools and technology that you can't have. We've been able to solve attrition issues that indies have. Most independent brokerage owners are selling real estate. They're working in the business, not on the business. All of those things were omitted the second that I signed up to eXp Realty. I've been able, would you rather have 3% listing commission on 20 houses, or would you rather have 1% on 2,000 homes? Especially if the 2,000 homes could be anywhere, not just in your selling area. I think that you got to think about that stuff. The other thing I think that's important, I saw somebody posted on the chat box when we were up here initially, is that they were 58 years old, because Mitch was saying that all his family dies in his 50s. Mitch is 59, so he's a year away from sealing that fate. I hope you're eating something like raw vegetables right now. But,
I drink good vodka.
Yeah, that'll keep you, the Russians, so that'll keep you alive forever. So one of the things that works really good is that the average, according to the NAR, the average real estate agent's 58 years old. That means that there's not a very sophisticated end game in sight. Right? If you don't go into Red Bull and the average employee is 58 years old, it doesn't work that way. This is a second, third, fifth career for many. For some like me, I didn't realize that you had to maintain a certain GPA in college, so it's the only thing I've ever done. So I got the boot out of school and I went right into real estate. And when you're 58 years old selling real estate, you can retire out of it if you work on the end game right now. It's not an or anymore, it's an and. We had a good transaction. You were brutal to negotiate against. If I had to list my house for sale and I wasn't going to list it with myself, I'd probably list it with you. I think that we would be much better on the same team versus constantly out there in the battlefield working against each other. What kind of equity is your company giving you to perform so well? If your company had a record month like Facebook said last month, how much did they give back to you? Is your company giving you all this business? No, you're doing it? Well, that's interesting. So this seems more like a unilateral relationship. So we have all kinds of different ways to engage and enter conversation. And I think that we can play with this. Mitch and I'm going to invite Mitch. I'll do it right here on stage. This is a proposal. I'm not getting down on a knee because I don't know what key that is. But I just hooked up with Hank, who's awesome. And I was going to hook up with Mitch, but he's been too busy providing a really cool program for EXP that he's going to launch with Jason Guessing here. But we do a weekly webinar where all you have to do is invite somebody and come to our webinar. And if I can court Mitch into speaking in it and participating in it, we're averaging just under 100. We've got live calls. You guys can join us on those calls. I don't care if you're in our group or not. We're all shareholders here. And it's Wednesday at 10 a.m. If you send me a work chat, I'll send you back the flyer. And we can just do some of the lifting for you to where all you have to do is become a professional inviter, and that's much easier to duplicate in your revenue share organization if everybody can just invite people to learn more. Somebody said I broke up. We get about 80 agents a week. Okay, I think they're calling us off here, Maria.
Is that what that was?
She just walked across the stage. It's like awesome.
Yeah, and so and that's great, Rich. And I actually talked to Hank a little while ago, and so I'm definitely in.
Oh, good.
Yeah, definitely in. Yeah, we've I just this past couple of weeks with the stuff I'm working on for EXP's been a little crazy. Anyways, any other questions?
Presentations on a Zoom call. Just work chat me. My name is right above my avatar, and I'll send you the flyer. And we're gonna steal Mitch and have him help co-host. This is a rising tide lifts all boats, guys. So just invite them on the call. We'll do the lifting at the end of every call. We send everybody back to who invited them. And if you guys want more information, you can work chat both of us. We're happy to provide anything that we've learned along the way. We don't know everything. So.
And one more thing I do want to touch on real quick before we hang up, because I think it's important. It's a conversation I've had with several people lately. Sometimes people are saying, well, I want to be in this line or that line or whatever line. I will tell you that all of us who are working hard right now, you hear my Boston accent there, all of us that are working hard right now, building our organizations, we all help each other. Not a you and us and I anymore, it's a we. The days of this one gets better stuff. We're all sharing everything right now, so we all have it. So anytime you're talking to somebody, you all share the same stuff. I've been on the phone with Gene. I've been on the phone with Jay Kinder. We're all on the phone with each other, talking to each other, and how do we best help everybody become stronger. As Rich said, the whole rising tide thing, we are really working hard to try to help everybody in our company get a piece of the action, because it's all there for you. Anybody can do this. This is not like anything special. I just talk to people and I help people. Gene said it last class, action, action, action. If you do not take action, you get nothing. You have to take action. Action. Yeah. Anyways, thanks very much, Rich. Always awesome to be on stage with you, bud.
Thank you, Mitch. Same here, man. Hope to see you in that same gear when I talk to you Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep